and then you beat who you think is the final boss, and there's that one extra little fight at the end. That's exactly what KC are going for here. The team they lost to along the way, and the Heretics, well, they just have to do the same again.
I knew he wasn't a Jedi all along. For Team Heretics, 5v5 on the defensive side. This is going to be a big test. KC, we know that they're going to be pretty comfortable when it comes to Sunset, not least because they picked it, but with some results that are already in. We're starting it off with some trades, but Team Heretics standing ahead, 4 versus 3, and the attempt to push through mid from KC has not worked, but they've managed to thread the needle with Magnum, and potentially will have a timing later on in the round. I mean, it's all about his pathing on that site. And his teammates making some noise potentially around middle to distract, but they've not. They've gone back to main, they've crept into site, looking just to take advantage of the space. The man disadvantage is still lingering over their heads.
Look for a second, like Magnum might be given a little bit of an opportunity, but isn't going to be able to find those shots. Spike will be planted. A couple of players rotating in as well. I'm more looking at Miniboot. He's always the one to take the space for the team, a little bit of support. They also have a fragment to try and clear this close angle up, but they've got to be careful of the trip, and they're not.
Even blinded, he's made it work. Nice stuff for Patatech. They've still got a little bit more work to do because Magnum is putting up a fight on backside, down to 21. And the wall bang to eliminate him, with Tamazi taking the brunt of the damage. That's a defuse for Team Heretics, a first round in the bag.
Yeah, and a big round, another one coming out of Patatech. I sort of was bringing this conversation up earlier, but where does he rank for you in terms of the standings that we've seen? Because we've had a lot of insane stand-ins throughout the entirety of the VCT.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can talk about CGRS. I feel like that's a big boy. You got Cider,
Cider is obviously going to be a highlight for me. The man came into an international event, delivered on a level we couldn't imagine, but for Team Heretics, I think that squad is looking as if they don't have a stand-in. They're playing so well, and I think it speaks to the system that they've built as a roster. I don't know. Like, Patatech in my mind wouldn't come in and deliver a top-level performance. He'd be good, but he's been great in this roster.
I think also he'd be good individually, but he has been a huge piece of the puzzle in terms of setting up and interplay between the team. I've been really impressed with him overall. A very aggressive move from Marquine. He's actually going to come up with a double. The Shorty combining with the Spectre he found has somehow made this round look competitive. And again, it's looking like they've got a good opportunity to get in onto the site. The Dizzy is going to make it so that they have to fall back and all play from the same position. They've got to be careful of that trip again, but it hasn't gone up just yet.
No, it doesn't look like it will go up. Great stun in the corner. 2 players unable to fight, or at least you'd think. Now, 8 still gets away with one, but the trades come in, leaving a 20 HP. Shin with a classic to do it all, and somehow he's done it. KC will not let this one slip. They're back in 1-1.
So one of the things I wanted to highlight in this map is that both of these teams, in their victories, have had really strong defensive side. And I think that's away from the norm when you look at, like, for example, teams like Vitality, who are playing this map to a higher level. They were normally pretty good on the attack. The victory that we saw against Na'Vi was an 8-4 defensive half coming out from the side of Heretics. And on the other side, every single win that KC have had has been 8+ rounds on the defense. So both proving that for these two teams, it should lean in that direction. I think a lot of that for KC, though, is very different to what we see from Heretics. I think Benji did a fantastic job of holding down one side of the map, whereas for KC, it's actually their retakes, which are really, really difficult to play against, especially with the utility and just raw ability of Narrate.
And there's some players to fall back on there. It's been really impressive seeing the depth that KC can bring to the table. For Team Heretics as well, though, it's that combination. Your Mini-Boo absolutely popping off. Benji is an insane, as you said, both his lurking and his just solo side holds were nuts. On this map in particular, I recall multiple rounds where they would go out on B and he would pick up 3. Make it look very easy. Get out of there with mostly full HP as well. Definitely going to be a threat for this squad as time ticks on. For now, 50 seconds on the clock, and as we can see, the defensive side doesn't have a lot, mostly Sheriffs, and that's when you group up. They decided to group up on B, put the numbers there, but the push hasn't come through, and their rotate is a little late. They might be stuck looking for a retake on the A side here. There's not very many favorable fights they can take.
Yeah, a lot of teams in this sort of position might even opt to just try and play some exits, do some damage, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Mini-Boo already finding an opener makes this round at least a little bit more interesting. Magnum has the cam set up and destroyed immediately. The Paranoia has blinded basically the entirety of the team, and they just swing out together, but it's mostly going the way of Carmine Corp. Benji finding the rifle, but the re-swing from Shin leaves just Benji standing, and through the orb he will go down. 2-1. A little bit costly for KC, but bear in mind a lot of what they had was saved from the previous round anyway, or at least what Shin had, so they still have the finances to play with.
Yeah, there's only going to be 1 or 2 players who start to reach the lower end of the credit spectrum. I think all in all, they can be pretty happy, especially with the dueling power we've seen on the other side. Heretics certainly putting up a fight, but they've lost that lead now. It's in the hands of KC, 2 in a row. Rifles out, Thrash online for this KC squad, so a big danger if you're on the defensive side, putting all your credits on the line across the board. You don't expect this kind of a play, this kind of aggression out of Miniboo! The stakes were so high for Heretics here, risking the map flying out of their control, and their solution is to send Miniboo on a suicide mission. We saw him do this the last time they played the map, and it was a disaster. Not so much this time.
Yeah, it was very hit and miss. Either he did that or he died immediately, and at the moment, all he's doing is taking over the round. Again, worth noting, a fantastic supportive flash out of Paditek. Again, these are the sort of plays that I'm talking about. Putting that utility in place. Normally you see those assists coming through because he's throwing a KO knife, not because he's got the flashes on the board. Now for the remaining players of KC, it's trying to almost just recover something here. Dropping a few guns, not allowing those orbs up, maybe getting a plant for a few extra credits. It's not a pretty scenario, and in fact, with 45 seconds left on the clock, they might actually just save. We'll see if they're going to go rotating around. It seems like they put a smoke down onto B, maybe just to sell a ruse, but I don't think they're playing this round anymore. No. This is a 30-second save. A devastating blow from the side of Heretics.
30 seconds left.
And like you said, Tom, right? You have that flash coming out of Paditek. It's left the whole squad blind. I mean, their heads were like candles on a birthday cake. They didn't stand a chance. I thought Ryan was back in the studio. But for KC, they're not left in the best of position. Their economy, like we said, there's 2 players who don't have credit, so those 2 carried over rifles will give them a lot to work with. And I think they can thank their lucky stars that Heretics didn't get antsy, didn't go for any aggressive plays, because Heretics could easily take these weapons out of their hands. But as that time goes all the way over, you can see 2-2. 2 weapons recovered. A full buy possible for KC. They're not letting it slip just yet. And like we said, they have got some ultis. And look at that. The pop is absolutely perfect. The slide around,
so
and it's
blind.
Clean.
They are so blind. And that's the thing. We can start talking about some of the numbers we have in this server at the moment. A lot of them are going to be Miniboo, I'll be honest with you. I think he's #1 on like ACS, ADR. He's even #1 on clutch percentage, which considering he's entry fragging is ridiculous. He's #1 on first kills, and actually has a really good ratio with his first deaths, which is absurd. But one of the more interesting ones is Narrate's up there in a lot of them. Even playing the Initiator, he's #3 on ADR, same for ACS. And talking of assists, #3, Paditek. He's been fantastic, consistent all the way through. I think #1 is Chronicle, so tough man to beat. And also, it only counted 2 games. Whereas, well, Heretics have played 1 more. KC have played a lot more games.
Yeah, they had a tougher run through the tournament, thanks to these boys. Oh, that stun is pretty rough for Magnum, but they don't know he's there. They haven't cleared it. He's unstunned, but Benji's getting the better of him. The ult immediately used, and that's a lurker killed. They know that. They've seen all these bodies towards the A site. You can see the reveals popping up as Rianz fires through some shock darts, just an attempt to slow them down. As we can see, the rotates have taken place. Paditek now in position, as well as Boo helping him out, and helping him out he is. 2 quick kills, Paranoia through. Rianz picks up 1 in the chaos, and they're set up perfectly to close the round. Really good stall from Heretics, a great execution when it came down to it.
Yeah, I think again you see the interplay. Like even when you like Carmine Corp are able to isolate one of these players on the other side. Firstly, this initial duel, there's a trade immediately. Secondly, this initial fight, there's Boo as well just to support. Like there's never an easy battle, and I think that's a lot of what you need on this attack inside is you see teams trying to isolate the duel. You're gonna watch it from Miniboo just sliding into angles in the next half. Like those early fights are so important for the attack side. And when you fall into that sort of stack up of players, well, you can't really expect KC to come out on top. Now this round's a little bit more interesting because, Mitch, although the finances suck, there's still opportunities here for KC because of the ults.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? A Thrash finding its mark here, Martine's going to be on you immediately. And obviously, the showstopper, it's a little bit devastating on its own. There's certainly potential for this squad on the attack. They've made noise B, they've made noise mid, and the ultimate plan is to catch this player pushing up, but it has not worked out. Boo is putting a stop to this here and now. No potential has been realized, but still some remains. Martine and Narrate, those two powerful ults, not likely to be used, but they have got rifles. Picked up the first at least. Miniboo, though, avenges his brother and leaves Narrate with 45 HP and 4 opponents to take down. 3 opponents to take down.
Yeah, he's still someone you have to be careful of. 45 HP, though, and they are all lining up ready, like a firing squad to take him out. Great round, and that's the thing. There are a lot of boos around at the moment. I've seen Mama Boo hanging out. She must be incredibly proud. Both of her sons, pro players. I don't know what my mum thinks. Looking at me going, well, I've got one. You can do that. But they've been so impressive throughout this tournament. Like, they've been leading the charts for the majority of the event, and the fact that Boo has gone from a player last year, where you're talking about someone that we weren't even sure if he'd be around. Like, with how poorly Heretics did, they invested in him again, and it was worth it. He's been incredible, and his brother said it in one of the interviews. He had it all along. Maybe the support wasn't there.
Oh, here we go. Thrash right off rip. Narrate's looking for someone, and he has been caught. Thrash not going to get as much ground as you'd hope. The trap wire saving them, but now they've got another space-taking tool, or at least they thought they had. Quick kill by Benji, and the support from Panatek. Rian's and Miniboo doubling up. This is looking beautiful from Team Heretics. And, well, an Andalusia flawless, it certainly feels like it. They had compliments from Benji Fishy about their retake. On the other side, it wasn't even a retake. They actually spun their asses off.
All I'm going to say is, you better make sure you win this map, guys, because KC fans do not forget. they will be coming for you.
We're more important.
They will be coming for you.
Oh, well. Let them come, as Optimus Prime said. For KC, like you said, they're dangerous here. It is a round where they've got a lot of SMGs to work with. 3 Stingers, a Spectre, and a Sheriff on the side of Carmine Corp. And they're spread out in their defaults, taking control of the map, possibly looking for some orbs as well to farm up. Look, Tamazi is only 1 away from having his Viper's Pit to play with. Plant could get that online, and, well, those Stingers and Spectres will look a lot more dangerous if they're playing inside the pit. There's an orb right there.
Yeah, the only thing is it gives away their plan. Like, for the most part, right now, Heretics are somewhat guessing. It seems like they've guessed correctly because they've already cleared out B main. Paranoia, though, is already going to find them that opener. Martine with the first kill. And with these Stingers up close, you do have to be a little bit more careful if you're on the Heretics side. Boo from above. This is an angle we've seen quite a few players try and sit in. And well, there you go. There is that Viper's Pit after the plant. Instead, Boo actually goes up above. And if he drops down, he's actually going to Goomba stomp someone instead.
It's a tough decision here. I mean, he is really playing blind in this, but that reveal certainly helped him out. It's only Martine down. Those weapons still so dangerous. They can catch a close fight inside a Viper's Pit. Flash is good. It's kept them back. Heretics slowing on the way through. They've already lost Panatek. The drop is good, though. That's the pit down. He gives his life for it, but a chance now for Benji. Never mind. Quickly shut down by Shin. And Magnum had the trade either way. Like you said, Tom, KC, after the pauses, their win rate seems to go up, and, well, they've found a win.
I also said be careful with the laughing.
It's true. It's true. Lesson learned. Look at the speed of Martine there. You can see Miniboo immediately turns. He popped his abilities trying to speed his way out of there, but there was no fast lane for him, unfortunately.
Nice. Let's go, boys.
On the highway to hell.
Nice.
5 to 3.
Boys.
As you can see, Ang is ecstatic.
As he's ever been.
That's the happiest he's ever been. Him and Nats were a match made in heaven, obviously.
Poison's off.
Nonetheless, it's put KC back on the map, but now they go back to this slower style of play. Like, you have to bear in mind, a lot of that was around an explosive start to the round, where normally you'd had quite aggressive positions from Heretics, as they do now, but that round they were playing passive because they were up against an eco, and then the Viper's Pit, which of course is not online anymore. The only thing available is that from the shadows. which for most people other than Mystic doesn't have high impact.
Yeah, rotational ultimate a lot of the time. A very slow approach from KC. And you see a rotation in from Nares. Again, not having a trap inside B main, they've got to be worried about anybody having pushed up. But with the spike being on A, it's a weird one. I think they're faking A. Paranoia used, Martine creeps up, makes some noise, and then they start to step back. We can see the rotate. Just take a look up towards the spawn. You already have players on their way.
30 seconds left.
Patatek moved across middle. He's caught Magnum. But then in comes the play from Martine, and it's not done well. That flash was perfect.
Yeah, again, Narrate's utility is on point. Unfortunately, too many fish. Not able to hit the target. And also, other than Benji, the players, at least most of them are healthy. Trying to get this back into a winnable position is not going to be easy. And now the stun's going through. Counter flash is excellent, but the paranoia has left them so blind. And now, well, it's going to be the leading of the charge from Minibu. So much damage being done, leaving just Tomazi to try and fight back. But he will not be able to. The blip on the radar is quickly fixed. And Heretics are going to double up once again.
Well, I think Uli's happy with how things are going so far. Patatek was looking there. He started his rotation, actually filled in the gap that they were looking to exploit. So it's backfired a little bit on the side of KC. Immediate answer back. It was 4 in a row. What do you think, Tom? Any ideas?
Let's flip and go.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or maybe it was fudging. I don't know.
One
of them.
It could be. I think, yeah, we'll have to start a Twitch poll.
50-50. There's no other options.
No third option needed.
And we don't want your suggestions.
Yeah, user submitted suggestions. Not happening for this
Banned,
one,
in fact.
unfortunately. Well, round number 10 kicking off, and Team Heretics, a slow and steady start, but they're chipping away at this. The defense is looking decent. 9 rounds still possible at the half, and KC have weaker weapons. So this round win looking likely for the defense, but this is where KC have been able to pull out some of those wins. One of them, most recently, on the attack. They have been very patient. They've tried to push and pull this map and bait Heretics into over-rotations, but I think Heretics have been decently patient. I wonder how much of that is Minibu being able to speedily cover those gaps.
I think it's also just they're really confident in Benji. Like, they are more than happy to go, okay, we can gamble a third player over to A because he's going to do a good job to delay. And especially if he has some supportive utility. Through they go. There he is with Rians, the support, and then ready for the split to come in from behind. He's so aware of all of the positions. Oh! And it's actually Rians to snap back. In fact, he's cleaning up, leaving just Shin remaining. And look how aware they are of this last man's position. It doesn't matter. He still lands the shot, but it's Rians again. Another round on the board, and well, it's nice when you can talk about something and it almost immediately comes up. Just a perfect little combination between the two players in market. And right now, these explosive takes on towards that B site have just not been working out for them.
No, I mean, there's a couple of things not working out for them right now, but I actually really like that.
Having that Thrash available might be able to help them out a bit. But the fact is, it's mostly been those more explosive plays that have actually worked out for them. Look at the 4-man stack initially over onto this A site. Early aggression being taken, a dart thrown over, maybe even a flash as well. I'm not sure if it was thrown out. No, the knife was thrown out instead. But now they are picking up that pace once again in towards one player. But that one player delivers once more.
Yeah, a retake setup from Heretics where they're very ready for KC to come in, dumping those ults, your Thrash right off rip, and some utility as well. But it gets them nothing. They've lost health. Nade is through. That might even stop the plan. It might do damage on the back of it if it wasn't in the corner. The bounce was a little off, but Rian's shots weren't. Tomazi, though, stepping up to find some damage. Already thrown out his snake bite. It will slow them slightly. We're not going to see it used for the later round. The block off this control, of course, not having the orb, but not having any life left, gets even more in the way. Magnum, the last man standing, 1v3. And we saw Heretics win from this position many times, but they had a smoke to spam through and a slightly better plant position for the spams. Another round found for Team Heretics. This defense just cannot be stopped.
Yeah, and they're so prepared. I've been singing his praises throughout, but Benji's setup, just getting that one kill, and then the rest just comes down to retaking as a team, which they've been excellent as well, especially when they have that man advantage in favor. 7 of the last 8 now going in that advantage, looking like a potential for a 9-3 half. But let's see what sort of response there can be. Obviously, the pause is already being utilized by the side of KC, so we're not going to be seeing much more from Eng. But I guess at this stage, you almost had to try and have a chat with the team. Now they're setting up on the other side. It's so different, and again, within seconds. I don't even think that was the 5-second mark, and already, Martin is gone.
Barriers up, 5v4. It's like playing an attack side up against Artis. He was so annoying on the side of Na'Vi, constantly posted up with that operator, yet they do it with Miniboo sliding into angles, taking quick duels, not having the escape, but not need. Well, I guess he does. He just did it there. It's dodgeball being played out. He's just so hard to hit, and he hits hard. 8-3, 1 round left, and a man advantage towards the defensive side of Heretics. Pressure is on, but again, they're pushing in towards Benji Fishy.
They did this before. Similar setup. They have cages to protect. Trips put in place to allow him to just sit within this corner. Look, they've actually doubled them up. So even if they shoot one, the other one will catch him. Miniboo dropping another, and they have that fragment to try and hold them back. This is a masterclass from the side of Heretics, but Rien's been caught. Thomasy giving them at least a little bit of an opportunity. 30 seconds left on the clock. Is he really going to try through the smoke? Left. You assume there has to be something else to this Shin having to make a move, otherwise he's going to have to just push straight into the blender, and with the stun leaving him just in a position where I don't even know what they can hope to find. It needs to be a miracle shot, and it isn't going to happen. Shin now with seconds left to spare, and he's going to walk straight into Miniboo as well. An utterly dominant half from the side of Heretics, and KC, they need to wake up.
They absolutely do. This is their map pick, somewhere they've looked good before. Lotus up next, and the devastation that's raining on this side from Heretics, it's coming from these early battles from Miniboo, and when the clock runs down, they're pushing into Benji. There's no safe route for this squad. The upside, well, they're attacking half.
Story in the past about Boo and Miniboo potentially playing together, and Miniboo not being ready. I want to know what not ready is, because he seems overly ready at this stage, just blitzing through tier 1 opposition. You almost think there must be a load of teams kicking themselves right now who could have picked him up from the tier 2 last year. And now, well, he's probably run riot versus half of those teams.
I think we've seen that a number of times right throughout Valorant's history, but there's a little more on the nose here. Yeah.
What's he been doing for the last year? Nothing.
He's been cooking. My goodness. And it smells good. 9-3. Defensive side for KC about to be tested. And we talked a lot about the holds from Benji Fishing Magnum. The Sentinel on the other side. Good snake bite. That should slow them down. Certainly do some damage on the way through. Benji, 30 HP. He ran in to make sure he could trade out his teammate at the very worst. See if that health ends up playing into it later, as some of it was the decay, so he's 74 after that fades away. It's not too bad. It's workable, but he's being chipped away, and that final fight for him seems to be coming pretty soon. He's going to have to scrap on the side, and Martin's quick to take it. Magnum and narrate. Shin wants his piece of the pie too. The whole team gets involved. KC find a round at last.
Yeah, a start that they desperately needed into this second half, and as said, this is where they've done most of their work so far. I think 8 rounds a couple of times, 10 round once in the defense, so they've definitely proven that they can do it. 9-4. Still a long way to go to get themselves back into this game, and with, as said, how fearsome Miniboo has been, you expect him to at least steal a round away. Maybe not this one. He's only going to be left with a classic. Benji, the only one to invest into anything here, and that's mainly just the extra credits he earned from the kill in the last round.
A numbers advantage is going to be pressed towards the spawn. Martin has one hell of a fight on his hands. Paranoia's caught him. He's out of there at least. Body blocked a little, but it's okay. They're safe. The mosh pit's bought them a little bit of extra time. Try to isolate Magnum, perhaps. The flash is good. He's got some support. He doesn't need it. He was about to have a teammate come around the corner, but Thomasy late to the party, and Magnum's already shut off the music. Nice and easy for KC. Cleaned up in an Andalucia. Flawless. 9-5. They're on the road to recovery for sure, but here come the guns for Heretics.
Yeah, this is definitely where things get a little bit more interesting. I will say, for the Heretics side, I'm always happy to see teams putting a little bit more stock in buying a piece of utility rather than just buying an extra ghost or something like that. Because that was the plan there, to try and use a couple of extra flashes on Paditech and use Boo's Paranoia for the same. There was a world where they catch a couple of players there. They even get them with the Paranoia, they're just unable to actually convert. But ultimately, KC Weather, the Storm, managed to win those fights. But now is where things get interesting. Now, bear in mind, their weaponry is a bit weaker, so they're going to try and go aggressive. The flash is good, but it does seem like Shimmer's a little bit ahead of it.
Caught one. I think it's an awkward enough angle as well when you're trying to quickly pace your way through. The Gecko flash moves quite slow. I think mainly focused on mid there as well. You know, for KC, the disadvantage, it's still workable. But the weaponry weaknesses, 3 Bulldogs alongside a Stinger, they need to keep numbers in favor when fighting, and close range makes it even better. A little ambitious from Miniboo. Perhaps the idea being he's got the information to play off of now. It's a little bit awkward. Thought we were going to have a free kill.
Oh, I think we might. Brian's stuck in a corner. Turning this back into a 3v3. They've only just managed to find Magnum's cam as well, so he's revealed another. I think it's though Benji and Boo still standing. Martin is going to try and get this one to Harper Benji there on the peak. It will be the round taken for Heretics, but a costly one. A decent amount of damage done with what was Bulldogs and a few SMGs.
True, true. It could definitely open the door to cause problems further down the line for the Heretics squad. KC full buy up and in prime position, but they're at 10-5 down. Needs to be a flawless couple of rounds. Yeah, like you see, that player fighting inside, right? The flash catches him. If he's a step forward, it doesn't. It's unlucky, really, just that Chin doesn't win the fight. He's been decent so far. But Heretics, as you said, they had a slightly shorter route, but without dropping a map, they've made it here, and by the looks of it, they want to continue that trend. This is KC's map pick. They're on double the rounds, and KC are putting all their credits into this one. Sure, there was damage done previously, but this is Heretics' chance to put their foot down. Choke KC out of the series.
Oh, no! Just a little bit of spam. Exactly. And Thomas, he's already gone. The main defense on the site. A couple of teammates jumping to the aid of Miniboo. Make sure he doesn't get caught out by spams, but the rest of the players are all sectioned out from the site, just trying to reclaim some control into market. Clearing into mid, but Magnum's gone down as well. Again, these spam shots just seem to be doing so much damage. Finally, Narrate is able to find one back. Make things look at least a little bit more competitive, and Miniboo with an uncharacteristic whiff is going to give this back to a possible round for KC.
Oh, the flash is good, though. That's Martin down. Who's going to defuse? Well, there's still a little guy to work with, but they're looking to scrap instead. Narrate finding one, then sending the man out to defuse. He's going to hold it close inside the smoke. He's got the first. That's a third kill in the round, and a chance to take it all the way. But Paditech interrupts him at the worst possible moment. 11-5. It comes close, but again, we tip the balance in favor of Heretics. 2 more rounds to close this out and start the series off 1-0 on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, I think that comes down to just the last bullet. A little bit unlucky. I also think Boo maybe got baited a little bit by the just forgetting that he has a wingman, because he goes running through like, he's defusing, when he's still holding on to it. 11-5 though. Heretics firmly in the lead, sending Miniboo out as a one-man tank, leading that charge. Now the fact is, although the weapons are weak, the read from KC is spot on. 4 players on this side of the map. They're hearing the drone, they're hearing the noise. They're going to know that they've got this one right.
Everybody's waiting. No one wants to make that first move for KC. They've got the numbers here, right? You just hope that Heretics burst through. They have control across the map and a cam as well to spot market. There's no need to over-rotate. They'll put most of their eggs in one basket.
Revealing area.
Now it's time. The utility's coming. They know they've made the right gamble. They still need to see the reward for it. Martin, the first to find a kill, clean onto Benji Fishy. Damage done onto Boo. The kill only 1 before the trade comes through. This is looking nasty. Boo even contemplating bailing out of here with the ultimate, and indeed he will. Sending it to their spawn. They've heard him. They're close enough. Shin has that information to play with. The players also moving into spawn. The cross here, dangerous. It's being watched by so many of KC's players. You still have Martin and Magnum holding strong and keeping Patatek back. And the crossover for Boo, he might think he's got the sight, but actually, there's someone here waiting for him. The rotate's already come in from Shin. The angle's a little off. Couple seconds left, and he's got him. Surely now he can just defuse it. So far away, Patatek doesn't stand a chance. Knife out, he's running, but he'll never get there in time. And the nade, well, it comes in after the round is already over. A disaster for Team Heretics. It's KC back on the board.
Yeah, fantastic read coming out from them to have that initial stack up, and it just becomes a little bit panicky. I don't mind the initial TP spot. I was thinking that'll be a position where they could sort of pincer the players if they try and rotate. Yeah. The only problem is the time. Like, eventually it got to a point where Boo had to try and move, and Shin was just waiting for a player to go for the plant. Heretics.
For KC's defense, Thrash is online. Some sort of a safety net to fall back on.
As said, a lot of their strengths on the defensive side did come down to their retakes. If this lands outside the map, I'm gonna laugh so hard. No, we just follow it the whole way.
It's good, it's good. Great. Well, the camera's not there, I'll tell you that.
If it was, that would have looked really cool. Unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind.
Magnum just watched that land. Look, nice try.
Yeah.
Nice try.
They've missed their shock dart. How'd you know? I saw it.
Big stuns on the back of sight, but Shin again, he's gonna have his head screwed on properly.
Oh, the timing!
No one's watching! That's such a big gap! They've left it wide open for KC, and it's capitalized on. Now spraying through smoke, Rienz is down. And this Heretics hold. Plant in that same position, spam through the smokes. Well, it needs to be damn good to get out of this one. Miniboo hits a few shots, but not enough. 11-7, the gap down to 4.
Yeah, again, weaponry weak, but that was still a scenario where you felt like there was an opportunity once they got into the post plant, until a second later Shin peeks into the entire team facing the wrong way. So maybe a few slip-ups here and there. But ultimately, everybody wanting to try and retreat. It's unfortunate as well, because coming into the round, Patatek was the one with the rifle. So although it drops into somebody else's hands, if he's facing the right way,
boys, let's go. Come back.
actually could have taken that one. Starting to believe. 4 rounds the difference, and well, a streak of 4 rounds for KC on their defense in series versus other team has been nothing. For now, though, I am looking at the ults that are available. Overdrive for Miniboo. But more importantly, having Null Command now online with that orb taken and the Hunter's Fury. That's where you can easily see a little bit of ult spam taking over the round. It looks like that they might be opting to try and challenge into middle. That's where the majority are going at the moment.
Yeah, slow bleed into this control. We saw the smoke put up top mid, blocking them off, but KC have got some wide coverage with their traps on this round. Understandable, considering the stack. And I mean, it's rare to see so many players on that A side off of next to nothing. I mean, a full retake attempt. They must have their ideas on the back of it, and I think some element of it is Patatek. He can break down their utility, blitz in, and he better do a damn good job, or someone on Heretics better, because they are shifting to the wrong side of the map, straight into A. Ult pop. Now, this is on C. He's running it through. The cam is above him. It's not being blocked out, and it's actually seen him. Okay, it's destroyed, but only one player there. No more noise heard. They're sticking on A. They haven't fallen for it at all. In fact, they're primed and ready to duel. Heretics are the ones caught off guard, you would think. The spike is down in the open. 2 players protecting. 10 seconds to get that spike planted. They need to go for it now with a cross from Shin. He's down. Only a couple seconds to plant. The coverage needs to be there, and it's not. The pistol out for Boo, and it's too late. The time already gone. Another for KC, not down and out of it yet. The gap is now 3.
Yeah, I do feel like they're a little bit unlucky, because in most cases you are going to have your Cypher in that position, unable to check that cam, but it's the round where KC just put all their eggs in one basket, look to play the retake, and because of that, they have everybody sat there waiting. And obviously Patatek's just a little bit too far behind to really have much impact in the round.
Let's go, boys!
The concept good, but unfortunately for Heretics, it looks like a blunder from afar. Well, that streak of rounds really starting to build up for KC. Financially a good spot, ultimate points in a great spot. One off of Viper's Pit, Showstopper, Thrash online already. And unfortunately for Heretics, they're back down to the pistols.
A lot of weaknesses in this round. Really nice to see KC playing the big brain version of Valorant. Cypher other side, bait out that ultimate from Patatek. Round falls to pieces. Now that's a good adaptation, a good read. But there's plenty more to be seen. Again, that shock dart thrown through, and again, the camera stays alive. Repositioned a couple times, directly above the door. I think we've seen it here before for sure. Maybe a little bit left in the last round, but for Heretics, it means that while they think they're robbing KC of information, they're absolutely not. KC are a step ahead. They know what control they've given up, and now they know this player's in market. Now the alarm bells start to ring. It's pretty clearly a B hit, but they're trading out the numbers. Magnum on 5 HP definitely does get worrying, but we just saw Thrash pulled into the arm of Narrate. He's going to use this to clear out market completely. Going to the side, in fact, fully committing, and he's caught Benji. They need to be quick if they want to capitalize on that space, and the problem is, if they're quick, they might just run into Miniboo. Plan still not found. A couple of seconds left to get this done. Mosh Pit burned out of them. Good kill for Miniboo. He doesn't know there's a player up top, and that is awkward. But it gets there in the end. Showstopper for the spike. The round secured now. The question, how much damage can Benji Fishy get away with? And it's almost all of them. The time is the only thing that saves KC from a possible blunder of a round. In the end, they'll even get Benji.
Yeah, that's all right for his finances. It's probably the better thing in the end, but a nice amount of damage. It's one of those things where I'm looking at this round, and all in all, it isn't bad for Heretics. Like, they go in with pistols and one rifle, one player survives on the other side, and they burned up 2 pretty high-impact ults. So I feel like KC may be feeling the pressure a little bit in that one, but even still, they keep the 4-round streak.
But that's where Heretics should be making up for it in the rounds around. The utility they've got in their belt hasn't been landing as much as we'd like to see. 2-round gap now. Viper's Pit used up, and this is a big headache for the attacking side. The control taken. I mean, even look at the fallback for this squad now. If they want to leave elbow straight through a pit, and that is a dangerous thing to do, especially with Magnum lurking.
I like where they've placed the trip, though, because it at least allows them a chance to go back, because they'll know if somebody's pushed that far forward. The thing is, the other utility that's in play, and now, yeah, now they are in that exact predicament. They either have to go forward or they have to go back past players. Magnum may be aware of the potential of them being in this position, but they haven't made a whole lot of noise. And almost just pausing here might actually start to put a few doubts in the minds of their opponent.
Well, you speak about that, yeah. You see the rotation no longer got Magnum in the pit covering the back. Instead, he's falling back, checking his cam, seeing there's no one on B, but they're now out of position a little bit on A. Narrate gives up the control. The post plant will be played for. The retake attempt, by the looks of it, is where KC want to rely on this round. It hasn't gone according to plan to start with, but they're not going to throw themselves at this and let it slip away. Hunter's Fury used, massive damage. He could get a kill. He could get 2. KC didn't need this now. A hero has to step it up, and it's Magnum or Shin. 11-9, and Carmine Corp have their back against a wall. Great flash, that might have brought them back in. The ult used, the hat off the head to reveal these players, Rienz and Benji, both known quantities now. It's KC's choice on how they want to approach this. Recon gone through, it's revealing them both. It's causing problems that Benji's capitalizing on, and with 70 HP and a lot of time left against him, Magnum's out of here. 3 kills and a save call made. Team Heretics have put it 12-9, now 1 away from stealing a map that at halftime looked like it was in the bag. It almost jumped back out.
New Rian's picture coming up. A little bit less. I feel like he was better dressed yesterday, I'll be honest.
You think so?
Yeah.
Didn't put a suit on for the finals?
No.
Unlucky.
This was an unbelievable ult, though. The amount of damage on the initial hit, like, there's no assists there. That's all Rian's doing the damage. And although there was a nice attempt, solid paranoia through from Shin, it isn't quite going to be enough for them to take this round back. OT guaranteed, but the map not yet. It has been a bit of a break from the scoreboard for Heretics. And even now, you look at the finances, Boo's had to go down to a Guardian, reserve cash only on Miniboo. Looking like they might pick up the pace here, Mitch, as they've headed right into the B site.
Well, yeah, the pace has been picked all the way up, and the idea here that the lurking support player can hopefully pick up a couple. He might just get some value for money, because remember, Heretics have been so good at running the clock down. Miniboo's going to try to take that opening duel, slide back. I don't even know how Benji's picked that one up. He's caught Magnum through a cage. And a big problem now, because they're going to be so focused on pushing forward, on dealing with these players, on recovering that rifle from Miniboo, and putting pressure onto the spike, because time is low. All the while, this slow rotation comes through from Patatek. It could have massive impact. If they can just run it down, it's already halfway. Stuck to half, the sprays need to land, and okay, the player's being pulled off it. Now the flank from Patatek should secure the round. Rian's with a 2 versus 2, but time is of the essence for this squad, and they're down to the 1v1. Rian's with the reveal, he doesn't need a peek, he goes out! The time is low, but it's halved already, but never mind! Not enough on the clock to get it done. Team Heretics 13-9. They haven't lost a map yet, and they won't here. 2 more to close out the grand final. Boosted protein. Well, look.
Can't make me worse.
Well, the first map of Sunset, an improvement for Team Heretics on what we saw before. The OT against Na'Vi, they made it look a little bit cleaner this time, although there were struggles towards the end. The signs of life did start to come into effect for KC. We'll see if the attack side is bearing any better fruit for them here on Lotus. Remember, Heretics chose this map. That means Carmine Corp wanted to start on the attack side. Some hope as we see them mount a slower approach to the attack.
Well, last time out, when they played versus Fnatic, Thomasy was the man to watch. He's definitely my highlight here. 26-13 against a team that many coming into this tournament were considering the best team in the world. If he can have that same sort of performance again, maybe they can come back versus the team that 13-4'd them on this map.
A lot to write home about for this Heretic squad. Same for KC, though. 40 seconds on the clock. It's time to get moving, and look at the angle for Rians. Beautiful stuff as Narrate falls. KC have also lost a lot of health on Shin. Space taking on Martine. He's closing the distance and starting to push towards their spawn. That is a gap right now. There's not players there. There is a rotate on its way from Miniboo. He's going to have 3 opponents around this corner. A tough battle, but some support as well. There's the swing, and it's actually gone KC's way. They've tripled down on the kills. Miniboo falling alongside his teammates. Well, this has made it very difficult indeed. Boo is miles away, and he's the last one standing with 10 health.
Yeah, a good start, a good resurgence, and a great pistol round coming out of KC. Just being able to re-aggress, that's the main thing. I always like it when, especially if you have a man down and the teams look like they have a plan to actually bring something into the next round. And well, a lot of this came off the back of Martine. Maybe some expectations starting to build on the shoulders of some of these youngsters. Martine definitely is one of the names we have to talk about. He's up there with the best of them. Again, in the majority of the statistics, especially the ones that matter. And well, if he wasn't already one of your favorite players, Mitch, Thomasy's got an outlaw.
Yes, he has.
And on a Viper as well.
With the wall. I love it. I need it. I want more of it. Benji fishing? Well, he's being caught out. And with very weak weapons in play and no shields, you know, Thomasy has got an operator essentially up against any of these players. It's one shot to the body, and they need a couple shots to fire back in return before any damage is done. I mean, Patatek's been hit by 6 pieces of damage dealing util. Just leave him alone. He was 10 HP before he saw anyone, and 0 when he finally did. 2-0 for KC. And a good start for this squad, Tom. I'm happy to see it. Magnum already doing a lot better than last time he faced Heretics here. He's got a kill.
That is just rude. You could have been nice and been, oh, look, they got an Andaluthia flawless. You could have gone with the positive.
I could have. I didn't. Well, it is a positive. It is a positive.
Well,
He's not got 0 kills.
It's not positive bringing up the last game.
I'll say, because of the fact that he played against Heretics, got 0 kills in this map, bombed out, and everybody was starting to play the violins for this squad, and then they found themselves here. He had the resurgence. He was top fragging on a lot of maps with this roster. You know, I'm happy to bring up his lows because he's had good highs too. Oh no, Martin. He had a real chance, but it's been torn away. Good damage in return though. Weaker weapons, some at least for KC, but they're not making it look like it with even one-to-one trades, giving them access to the A site.
This is the thing, the three-man aggression, especially with KC pushing all in that direction, it gave them a 5v3 advantage, one of the best scenarios they could have kind of hoped for. And now they've managed to retrieve guns. This has gone from what was looking like a bonus round with an attempt to do damage to an opportunity to actually steal things away. While Benji, the only one with any real utility. Interesting haunt. I don't know, they're clearing their own positions. That we've seen the util catch out though. The haunt maybe was just bait because instead the Caesars caught both. Narrator's gonna swing out and manages double, get that triple overall, and KC, they've got themselves a third round already. Did you see the visible confusion where he looks at that haunt and goes, why is our haunt there?
You know, everybody has a blunder every now and then.
Let's go, guys.
For now, right? Certainly not a blunder of a round. Gorgeous play. And it's even 5-4-3-2-1 on the kills in KC. They're making it look very clean. Incremental damage.
Yeah, and 0-3-0-3-3 on assists.
Wow. I'm really glad you pointed that one out. Well, for the side of Heretics, an attempted bit of aggression around
Oh, that's not where he meant to TP.
No, it hasn't gone according to plan to start. They've got weaker weapons to try and recover with, and, well, the players aren't rotated in either. Miniboo's pretty much alone here. Maybe Rian's will be able to help out, but that ult is not going to be used up. We're relying on the Sheriff and the Spectre doing a lot of damage. Maybe a Dizzy to help.
Yeah, they need to find quite a bit more before they throw out the Thrash. And yeah, with everything being so weak, the passive position's already being held. The Poison Orb from Thomasy as well. There's not really an avenue back in. They're going to have to just try and clear this utility out, and that might just do it. He's going to have to go aggressive. And well, that's not gone well at all for the young Viper. Dizzy is perfect. They're left so blind. Somehow this is actually starting to become viable for Heretics, leaving just Magnum standing to try and turn this back. And he's been caught by the ultimate. I said they need to do a lot for them to throw out the Thrash. They did a lot.
They did a lot. Absolutely. You know, you see those signs of life.
That's ridiculous.
Start to come back on the board, and you just say, hey, whatever, we'll throw it all out there. One on the board for Heretics. A battle back that, to be honest, you know, I sort of came into this round expecting a decent bit of damage for Heretics. They've been
so
good with weaker weapons. I didn't expect them to just dominate like this. Floating back into the site, it's scary if you're KC, because you just need a little bit of a snowball. They brought their own.
Can the drummer come to the arena?
Bring him in. Maybe he'll be there in Madrid.
That would probably upset every single sound guy in the building, but I'm not the sound guy.
I don't have to deal with that problem, so I don't care. KC are going quickly towards C. It seems like they've seen a lot of presence on A. Gamble, this is the weaker side, or maybe just want to limit test it. Straight in, showstopper in hand, and well, it looks like Team Heretics have done a good job. For the most part, they've fallen way back, given up this control. But, you know, he doesn't get a kill with the rocket launcher. It doesn't mean it's not a success. At the end of the day, they've taken the site, they've got a post plant, and the clock is now very much in their favor on the side of KC.
Again, I'm looking at that Gecko utility. It's so useful when it comes back into these retakes. A lot that they can use to try and clear the backlines. He doesn't even need it. He's just spammed Magnum through. Snakebite thrown in, Nightfall on the other side. Just try and hold them back a little bit more. Martin in a proactive position has managed to keep things in their favor, and Narrate will confirm it, leaving just Rian's left to try and fight 1 versus 4. He got the first kills. It would have to be an ace, and this time the Haunt put in a perfect position to reveal him. Narrate tearing them a new one, 4-1. KC starting to, well, create themselves a bit of a lead.
I feel like Narrate's having such a good time. I do wonder how the IGLing's working for him, if being on this role where Magnum is taking a lot of that responsibility, it's just freeing him up to focus a lot more on his own gameplay, because he's looked stellar here in EMEA, going pound for pound, toe-to-toe with some of the best out there. And with Martin and Thomasy alongside him, this roster on KC just back into the game. The barriers haven't gone up, but we've got a big boy in hand. Magnum wants to use the big gun, the Odin, to spam down.
Is he the big boy or is the gun?
Your pick, Tom.
Okay.
Dealer's choice. For KC, their attempt to wallbang right away, deny his control, stop any aggression that Team Heretics have gone for in the last couple rounds up towards A main. But we can see it's a much more passive setup. They've actually got Benji Fishy here, who's been a stellar anchor, and 3 players have rotated into position to back him up. Lots of rifles here for Team Heretics, and a much tougher take than I think KC are ready for.
You too. Brienz is just tagged down. They've got the players there, but they've been tagged up all the way in this battle. Yes, there's a lot of personnel, but they're both blind, stuck in the corner. Nice work from Miniboo. Able to isolate the angle, but the trades come back thick and fast, leaving again. Just 2 remaining. Nice work from Brienz, but there shouldn't be too much more. Patatek, though, has brought this back into a winnable position. Gonna try and make his way down. That will have been hard, and they're gonna peek him together. KC, they walk into the Lion's Den, and they come out victorious.
Very well handled. With so many players there, I wasn't too confident. And, well, I'll tell you who was. Magnum. Because he came swinging around here with the Odin and then went up the rope to take another fight. I mean, it's rare that you see a player steam up the rope with an Odin in hand and take a CQB fight, but...
Has we been watching your matchmaking games?
Problem is, you know, in my matchmaking games, I don't have Miniboo, Patatek, Rians, all these guys on the other side.
I feel like the drum was signed by so many different bits. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I'm gonna start bringing a drum everywhere.
This could get a little dangerous. Miniboo's already tagged up a little bit. And on the fallback, he's jumped over the bullets. So mostly the decay that's taken his health away. That'll heal back up. Pistols, for the most part. Rians has pulled out a Marshall. Again, it's going to be very difficult to get the value out of this because Viper's Wall and, as we just saw, that smoke has bloomed up. So you don't get that long-range vision to try to fight with. Maybe because they're on pistols, KC would have that gap, but they haven't. And they've made the read. Lots of players A, because we went there last round. We saw a much different setup. Let's go test out B. What's happening over there? It's wide open.
Right now, KC have got a fantastic read on the game. Benji spotted a man up close. He's done a lot of damage. Actually wallbangs Martin. And a re-swing from Shin. That's risky. Wanted to try and even things up. He's actually cost them. Giving that lockdown over to Benji is going to force the players out almost completely. And look where it's forcing them to. There are a couple of players waiting on the other side. The poison orb will help them, but the stun leaves them completely in the dark. Somehow, though, it's actually going to be Miniboo to go down first. Leaving this back into a 2v4. Narrate does well. And he's actually got so much information. He's halved them in terms of the HP, but so is the spike. Both now low through the smoke he goes. Magnum to save the day with the Odin. 6-1 now in the lead for KC.
Oh, well, without the Odin, there's no telling if that would have went Magnum's way. So entirely down to the hardware brought to bear. Really nice stuff. And I think Benji Fishy grabbing that kill. I can't even fault the player on the other side. He just wall bangs you with a Guardian. That one, though, again, I feel like Magnum is playing the Odin in such an unhinged way. He's going to go running through a Viper's Wall to take fights, up ropes to take CQB battles. I just love watching this guy play. He's entertaining, to say the least. Good damage as well to start this one off. Martin, he's got a player below, not for long. Shin's quick to deal with Miniboo. And that's opening duels completely denied by Carmine Corp.
This fight has not been going well for Heretics. They keep trying it again and again because they don't want to allow that control, but we haven't really seen that same pressure going on the other side of the map. Like, they've mostly just been going aggressive into A, and there is 5 players waiting for them pretty much every single time. Boo needed a miracle. The double peak plus the TP, the chance of him connecting all those shots were slim to none. And what?
This guy's insane! You know what I mean? Like,
it's just why?
It's been unhinged so far, but the jump peek into crouch spray? Wait, what the? He's doing this for me, isn't he? This is all about me. I love it. I'm going to give Magnum the biggest hug after this game, regardless of how it goes. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be for commiserations. 7-1 in the lead. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Oh, give me the loss.
Oh, yes!
I will say the paranoia timing was perfect. So the other player was blind, but I don't think it mattered. I don't think you'd be able to react.
You don't think you predict that movement?
But yeah, I think you just look at it. It would probably want to be one of those shot moments where you just look at him do it like, what?
What the hell is this guy on? Well, sur baril, as they would say in French. And they completely in there. For KC, they've got something to work with. Lockdown and Viper's Pit on the attacking side, but they've got to get into position to use it. Patatek trying to interrupt that. He's won the fight. How did Tamazi win that fight? I don't know. We can study it.
Stinger. Otherwise, it's just Magnum in every position. Miniboot trying to go through. Well, it's finally been taken out. It took a Rien's headshot, but at this stage, round looking over. And Odin to be picked up. Maybe they can try and go jump peeking into some angles, but I don't know how much they can truly hope to find. May even want to just keep it. Genuinely, just bring it into the next round and try some counter spams of your own, because right now, any sort of aggression that they've had has been a failure. Gun here. They're going to try this retake anyway.
Yeah, they really are committed. It's not looking too good. It's not looking probable, and it's now getting to the possible point. Oh no! The raid almost had him. If he was tagged, it would have been something ugly. And of course, in the end, you might not have seen it, but that Odin did get saved over. It's going to be in the next round. Attack side Odin 8-1 for KC, and Magnum, he's just looking stellar. Now I know Lothar's going to have a bit of a panic attack about the next fight Magnum took because he's crouching against the Sheriff, but I'll give him the little bit of a break because he did have the Odin.
Yeah, it's heavy. You got to sit down.
Absolutely, you got to brace yourself. And as you can see, ult economy, it's in a pretty decent spot. Both teams have got their upsides to it, but for Team Heretics, the downside is they ain't been winning rounds for quite a while. They're gonna have to pull something out of the bag or the barrel.
Not the greatest of stance.
That was a spam.
Yeah, once again, just through, probably aiming at Panatek and find Benji instead. Shin, you could just see the confidence. He just walked all the way around. Panatek is completely unaware, maybe expecting the cover to be there from his teammates. Just gets caught out. Everything we sort of wrote home about in the last map seems to have just disappeared. Heretics really, really struggling right now, but Miniboo, maybe he can turn things. As you said, spike on the ground.
Spike on the ground, lockdown and pit to recover. The flank, though, might be something. That smoke has blocked off the alarm bot. Creeping by here, a nice play by Boo. The timing is going to be tough for him, though, because that door is closed, and you won't be able to creep up behind them in quite the same way. And obviously, they're worried about this angle that goes towards the steps, because players could come from anywhere around here. So the surprise element taken out of it. It was a nice attempt by Boo, but not one that will find value now that he's known. They look for Mini Boo and get him. One kill onto Magnum, the jumping Odin not working this time. They have a lot to fall back on, and taking out the brother Boo, the showstopper, the first thing fired. Well, it looks like Boo's going to avoid that successfully. Again, though, this is more so being used for KC to control the site, to see where this player can be pretty much for free, because if they see him, just fire the rocket rounds done anyways. And now they've got a good afterplant to sit in, to run this clock down and make it next to impossible for Boo. He has to find both players, kill both players, or just defuse. The nade will force him off to start, but now, not a bad idea. Going for the fight, but it doesn't go his way. KC play that one pretty perfectly in the 2vx, and we go 9-1. This is disgusting. That's absolutely filthy. Your Sentinel goes down because of a spam, and Shin grabs the second kill by just TPing into sight. That's a disaster.
Another Heretics pause, but at this point, it's so far gone in this first half. You're just hoping that you can potentially...
Well, if not, we'll just be resetting this into the BO3 that it could be, that it was once long ago. For KC on the attack, no signs of slowing, but ults on the other side. Thrash and Viper's Pit to work with, and immediate aggression. They're running it down, and Miniboo has surprised Shin, to say the least. Good stun, good spam, and another for Rien's! An absolute showstopper of a round from this man, as it's now 3v2. Heretics have the advantage, but Miniboo's trapped. He's alone, he's isolated, snakebite on his feet, no way out. We're back to neck and neck, Tom. A Viper's Pit on each side. In fact, the same agents in play on both sides. A mirror matchup for our 2v2.
Yeah, the problem is, where does a defensive side Viper's Pit come into play here? You'd almost just expect the attackers to avoid it. They'll know that there's one player locked in, maybe in a retake, if it's in the right place. They are. Both players heading in the right direction now. I feel like for obvious reasons, KC have had so much success on A. They're continuing in this direction. Both players about to meet. The weapons on one side, and it will be the trade out from Tamazi again. a chance, some hope for Heretics in a round that really shouldn't have had that much expectations. Doesn't matter though.
Well, it's snatched from their hands again. You have to command that early aggression by Minibu. This from Rien's absolutely gorgeous. A good spam, a good follow-up onto a player, blast packing. But again, you just don't see that escapability. You're on the defensive side. They had their whole squad there. You didn't, right? If you did, you're throwing. It's a big map. You got to have coverage. 10-1 with 1 round left to compete for in the half. Heretics, as we said, have been flawless so far. They haven't dropped a map.
See you later.
But it's looking like that streak is about to come to an end. As another kill goes to KC. Now they've got Rien's trapped behind the wall. But they're not even quick to go for it. This is not a team that's in a rush, in a hurry.
Oh, look at the intel. Hey, that is just gorgeous. They make sure that a Paranoia and a Prowler go through at the same time. He can't even see the thing that's about to make him even more blind. Perfect stuff from KC. And the fact is, I love the way that their players reacted when I think somebody at least got caught by the Thrash. Their response, 2 players swing immediately. Make sure there's no easy fight for the side of Heretics. Benji now, it's been a different look for him. A quieter game, a 1v4.
Possible.
It seems it, and he's not even going to make it past the 1. It's going to be 11-1. One of the most dominant halves we've seen, and it's in our grand final. Heretics are going to have one hell of an attack. You're going in blind. Neither of them have played it yet this tournament, which, again, considering how many matches KC have played, that's actually quite impressive. But as you mentioned, they're the ones bringing it to the table. The first half was pretty much, not all A. I think we had at least 1, maybe 2 plants on C and B, but it was mostly A. And we're not too surprised that after an initial fight towards the C site, Heretics going back to A.
KC were certainly
He's
ready.
hit mini boot.
Oh, 34.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Straight through. You know, for Heretics, the read is correct, at least in the early round. KC had some aggression up on C main.
Look away. Look at where the flash is. It's how it's stuck in the corner of the map.
Suboptimal. I think KC have done a great job with the early stack on C, with the rotate after, good information. They're primed for a retake on A. I don't think they can get there on time to stop this. Certainly doesn't look like it. Wingman just being used to clear out the angles. The nade, it's going to be late, but the C's... Oh, it's not a C's. In fact, it's just a haunt. The reveal thrown through. Doesn't get them anything. Martin goes down for his trouble, and Heretics might have a way in.
Yeah, this is one of the better looking rounds, but Narrate just so quick to it. Already removing mini boot. Shin has found another, but then a flurry of frags come through on the other side, leaving just Shin remaining. He'd have to pull off a miracle, and they already have an orb on it. For him to even try and survive this would be difficult. He's hoping that maybe someone gets overzealous, makes a mistake, but you can see how patient it is, and Benji's even going to land the shot. A round finally onto the board for Heretics, but it's, yeah, I'm not getting excited yet.
No, I think that's understandable, Tom. It's been a while.
Can't hear Uli anymore.
Oh, he's gone quiet again, has he?
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Wonder why.
All dead?
Nice.
Let's see if he can pull out some of his French to close this one, because he might need it. It's only 2 rounds left for KC to put it across the line, and Eco here. And I expect him to play a pretty weak Eco. Get this round over with and then fight in for the next. But when I look at the map, very spread out. Some utility in play. Early presence on A, util there, and rotations. This seems like they want to bait Heretics into a play, because they're going to stack up one side of the map and hope their early presence is enough to deter any sort of aggression from that attacking side. It might be right, it might not. Right now, Heretics are just sat there, boots in the mud, waiting for a push, waiting for a sign. That sign won't come through by the looks of it, so they're going to have to make their own destiny. Where's that going to be?
Mosh pit.
Oh, he can clear the back site quite easily. Dizzy gets them a little bit of information, but not too much. Shin just goes walking out. He's gone wandering. Benji will take that all day long. And this actually leaves them with a lot more doubt of where this push might actually be coming from. Again, it's a double back on towards that A site hold. Well, with the door being opened, they at least know somebody's there. But you can see 2 players still haven't moved from the C site. I think that 1 kill has just delayed this rotation by so much.
left.
And when you have such limited weapons, all you can really hope for is a stack.
I like their Viper wall this round just to keep those battles a little bit more close quarters. Hello, hello! Harry just ran around the side. He got a weapon. Almost got it ready into fighting state. Could be very scary. In the end, it looks like impact will be negligible. Just a couple players left. Weaker weapons in hand and no potential to cause that damage. Heretics in a pretty comfortable position all in all in this round. In this half, but not in the game. 11-3, a long road to recovery.
Yeah, we're going to need a board all of red if Heretics are going to turn this back. And you'd almost have to assume that some of the players on the other side would have to go missing. Now, there are rifles for the majority of Heretics, so it's not like this is too bad a bonus. So you can't really afford to just keep SMGs and other stuff in play. It's not going to work out for you here. So they are going to go heavy and buy up some of those extra weapons. Shin, again, trying to get a little bit cheeky around this C site. But I'm liking the utility that's being thrown out early. Just force him back off that angle. In the meantime, though, a bit of a push-up.
They're going to walk right into him. Do you even check this corner? By the looks of it, they were hoping to. It's cost them a lot. Magnum down. And the rotates from Team Heretics, it seemed like there was a quick movement from Miniboo, but the call was a little delayed. Eventually, they decide that, yeah, it's the right play. Back towards the part of the map where that battle occurred. Back towards what we can see is just 1 defender. Tamazi falling back. Good information. Wall up to... wall up from that defensive side, indeed, causing problems. It's a little deeper than before, but this is a more normal position for B walkout. And to slow them down on the A approach. Will allow those rotates to come through potentially, but as we can see, there's a lot of presence still around B. It looks like KC are expecting them to double back through the door, having seen all this utility, but the stopping power isn't enough. They're already through the stun, not good, because Tamazi steps through it, but Miniboo's waiting on the other side. 4 versus 3, and plant secured.
And in the last match, they were able to really rely on the individual ability of Tamazi. But this time he's isolated, this time he's taken out, and all 4 players back towards tree, needing a bit of a reposition, wary that there could still be players coming in from behind. Boo is actually going to be trapped out here, and because of that, he's isolated, left on his own. Instead, they're at least going to catch 1 detained, and it will be killed off. That rotation still coming in, though, from behind. It's left all onto Miniboo. A chance still to save them. He might be able to kill the planter before he defuses. Not expected to be there so fast. And now Martin is trying exactly the same. Still hasn't managed to get it far enough, and he's going to swing out all the way, knowing that there's not enough time left on the clock. It will be 3 for Martin, but the round to Heretics.
I'm sorry, I don't know if the English stream can hear. I just hear Uli screaming, Quattro, Quattro. They got 4 rounds, I'll tell you, the Spanish fans are excited to hear that as well. But yeah, quite a road back. I think I'm leaning more towards the French side on this one. But for Miniboo, he did well, he danced around it, handled that situation well. And in this kind of series, it isn't even about this map. The more rounds Heretics can put up, the more they can feel like they just weren't activated in the first half, but that this series is still theirs. And going back into a reset, 1-1 scoreline, 3 maps to play for, could be worth its weight in gold. Get warmed up here.
It's looking a bit more pacey. They only just scraped through with a Red Bull clutch in the last round, but now we're looking at them really looking to steamroll their way into the side. Now he has been caught by the vulnerability. It doesn't seem to matter for Miniboo. Just running forward, and that might be the doom of them. The death of them even, as now Narrate has managed to find a couple. He's still there with the Nightfall. He's going to make things a little bit more awkward. Finds a 3rd kill in the round and leaves it on to Benji. He has an idea of where both players are, but left blind by the paranoia. Falling back to the site. Now he still has a lot of time to play with. He doesn't actually need to commit in this direction, and it seems like he's realized it. Now the problem here is, although he'll get himself an afterplant, Mitch, he is going to get Shin a gun.
But hold on. He's not looking for the afterplant. He faked the door open. They think he's on B, but then he swings through. 7 HP. Shin's got the rifle now, though. 1 bullet, 1 spray, and it will land.
30 seconds left.
But he can't get out. He can't cross the B. That angle's being held by Shane and Benji Fishy! Red Bull clutch! Heretics aren't down and out yet.
I can't believe he's managed to pull that one off.
He's a genius.
The breaking of the door, I thought they were screwed. And the thing is, to sprint into a site up against a team with weak weapons and through a snake bite, it was really risky for the side of Heretics. The heroes on Heretics rising to the occasion with 4 rounds in a row. They've definitely been up there when it comes to the clutches. 3 players within the top 8 in terms of clutches. Miniboo, Benji, and Paddy are the ones that we're talking about.
Back of a huge career in Fortnite. Like, for that guy to have that kind of mentality alone, that's a winner's mentality. And he's got the wins now to back it up. Already locked into an international event. Big clutch in the previous round. But as we said, so much more to be done. Still a 6-round gap in KC. They only need 1 round to go their way, and they're guaranteed at least the OT.
That's the thing. This is a huge confidence booster. It's definitely something that has shaken KC. You see the pause called by Eng just to maybe try and settle things a little bit, because they could have closed this game by now. We've had a couple of clutches that have gone the way of Heretics over the last couple of rounds. And the fact is, the more that they start to build into this game, the scarier they are. I will say for Heretics, though, if they are going to bring this back, they need some cleaner rounds. Like, just winning everything in clutches.
7
I feel
HP
like
clutches?
Yeah, it can only go so far.
Dude, that's 6 times in a row, no worries.
They still wouldn't have won.
6 more times in a row. Tie it up. Well, this attack side, you can take a look at the ultis available, and, well, I don't know about Boo, but Mini Boo is damn dangerous when he pops his.
Dangerous when he doesn't.
He's just dangerous. Man is just
30
dangerous.
seconds left.
Now, I don't know if... I think they're aware of the turret covering the B cross out, but their eyes are firmly set on this A side. Heretics want to take control. Utility to clear the first corner, Mini Boo to clear the second. He's gone deep to take these fights. The smokes blocking them off for now, but the plan's secured. He doesn't need to stay aggressive.
I'm surprised nothing has gone into this corner. One of the spots you almost always clear. Narrate has started things off well. The double peek, Sublime, and finally a snake bite goes into the corner of Tamazi, but it seems like the damage has already been done. Needing to try and find something in this post plant. Paditek is low on HP. The paranoia is good, but he manages to get one. And Boo's found another. The spam across isn't quite connecting. Even still, the Tamazi now low. They peeked in onto him. Boo looking for the battle, trying to find something back into this one, trying to buy a little bit of extra time for Benji. And this time, I don't think it's going to be enough time ticking away. I don't know if they're actually going to have this. It's going to be desperately close, looking like just about half a second is all that's in it for KC. And well, the one time the clutch doesn't go Heretics' way, and they're on the back foot.
That's what we said, though, right? KC just needed the 1 round, and now, with that secured, 7 chances to close out this map, to put us 1-1, to ruin anyone's 3-0 predictions. Sorry, Uli. And I think with how things have gone, it seems almost impossible that they don't find that. Narrate is playing a fade. He has 10 assists.
Yeah, he's
He has
insane.
10 deaths, and he has 25 kills. That is an outrageously good performance, and we complimented him last map, but this is just next level. Martine, the first to open, and the smoker, the controller on the side of Heretics is down. Paditek's wall, now the only thing they've really got. An orb as well, I suppose, but we'll see how much they can cover off with that.
Narrate is one of the players top 3 in damage. Average damage per round, he's up there. And the rest of the players, the duelists. Either way. With the man advantage, still some weaker weapons for either side. Showstopper is going to go in.
Good night.
Oh, no, it doesn't actually do too much, and the plant is going to go down. Now the lockdown will buy that extra little bit of time for them to try and play with. We know that KC have been solid in these retake scenarios, and that's what they're going to build up for.
Go, go, go.
I'm going to need a KC jersey if they keep using the Odin like this. Great spams by Tamazi have done so much damage. We know Magnum's capable with it, but he's got the Stinger in this round. Round goes Martine for his first. Magnum on the Stinger. In comes the Snake Bites, but it might be too little too late. A whole squad to take down, and they're coming. Blitzing into the angle, losing every fight. HP is low. Magnum's decayed. He's only got 1 health. The Snake Bite was on the site. It's only Benji Fishy left, and he'll get one.
Yeah, they don't have
with
time.
the
time's
getting
gone.
the rest. KC will not close it out here despite a scrappy duel. But they've got 6 more chances after that Red Bull clutch.
Yeah, it's the second time the Spike has Red Bull clutch for the team. It is getting, as I said, the last round was down to 0.5. They could have had another one if they just burnt a little bit extra off the clock. The problem is, the Heretics are winning all of these rounds with 0, 1, and maybe maximum of 2 players surviving in all of them. It means that they never really have any finances to play with. Luckily, neither do their opponents after a one and done, and all of the ults really are stacked up for the side of Heretics to play with. Miniboo, he's not going to have a rifle, but he is going to have the overdrive. Or lightning fingers, as many of you may know.
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
That's the one. A laser.
A few other names that I'm not going to say.
Nope. No, we'll keep it at that. Magnum, well done.
That's the only rifle they have.
Patatek's own wall as well that he had to cross through. Clearly didn't expect them to be that aggressive. As the 1 rifle turns to 2, Narrate's picked 1 up, and KC are ready for the retake. Avoiding Thrash, but only for now.
Luckily, they've got their 5th man to plant the spike. It's not Patatek. Already lockdown is actually going to be used to try and clear them out of mound. The goal is not to try and get them anywhere near the spike. They'll be able to stick onto it. Miniboo's just spammed. Almost gets caught out by the it doesn't matter though. His brother's there to defend him. Thrash being utilized for the 2nd time, and Array is stuck in the mud. Instantly dead. And Shin, well, they invested quite a bit into this round. They managed to get themselves a kill, use a lockdown even. All he's hoping for is to maybe put a 2nd body on the pile.
Well, he's done that at least. The first is found.
Could just take the gun.
Take the gun and run. That's the play. He's out. I have to say, very good read from Team Heretics on this round. I feel like they perfectly read how that was going to be played. You're avoiding a lot of the utility, not just the lockdown, but also the nightmare that was thrown towards them to try to take them. That Nightfall caught a couple of them up close, but the main idea was the sight squeeze that they were pushing on. And, well, Team Heretics were way ahead of it, able to fight into the spawn, able to cause a lot of headaches for the retaking defender side. And they didn't burn up all their ultimates either. Still a Viper's Pit to work with, and Miniboo's got those finger guns. So all in all, not a terrible round. 5 in a row needed. Look, it's getting to the point now where it is possible. It's unlikely still,
I'm sorry,
but
Heretics.
it's possible.
Mitchman started to believe. Maybe a little bit too early. Instant Viper's Pit. Just going to be locking down that C site. Aggression as well from Shin to take control over A. Maybe hoping to funnel them back. No, they're actually trying to go through this. Miniboo's already got rid of Tomasi. That shouldn't have been so easy. Magnum waiting, needs more than 1, and he isn't going to get it. This round is not going the way it was supposed to with a Viper's Pit, but the trades come back thick and fast, leaving Martine still to do damage. The nade onto the side is going to make things awkward as well. The plant still not coming through. Not even a minute gone on the clock just yet. Shin's actually wary that they're going to try and push and reposition and plant somewhere else. Instead, they're actually looking to fight back towards the mound.
It's the right call with the player that was there not long ago. But I love the idea from Martine to go back to Shin, group up, and approach this round in a 2v2 no matter where they go. Maybe they can even catch someone from Heretics off guard, or just in a 1v2. Trade at worst.
30 seconds left.
Quick rotations in play. Miniboo's speeding his way towards A. Finger guns in play. And it doesn't look like they'll have any impact. They'll be faded away before any of these players are close enough to use it on. With the door open and seen and heard, KC at least know where it's going down. But taking this fight will be something else.
Careful here.
With a little bit of low HP, I think he'll want the instant headshot anyway. Now they are playing this one separately. It means Rians needs an insta-kill and he's not going to get it. For KC now a chance. Another clutch needed. Miniboo's position might not be expected. Smoke going down, but the drop will be heard. They're already onto the defuse, sticking it pretty much all of the way, halfway done. That's all they really needed, and Shin will be there to close it. It is going to be that third team round on the board. It's going to be a third map at minimum. And while KC...
See what they got.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to seeing a raise on this map. That gives me flashbacks to the legend that is Yassine, but also just the amount you can do in terms of denial when you get onto that defensive side. For now, though, Magnum already coming in under pressure.
Destroyed.
As he is forced back off the angle, of course. For the attack here, they're going to have to take a lot of control. Now, having that double initiator means they can clear a lot of positions for free, but getting into the plant, obviously they don't have a Sage, they don't have a Harbor. So there's not going to be anything as like a hard blockade in the way. So they're going to want to take some of these firefights, clear out some of the players, and that's not gone great. A bit of spam straight through the screen is enough for Magnum to start things off.
Shot down low by Narrate, but the numbers are already thinned out, down to the 3v3 as the plant comes in. Is that a swing from Spawn? No. Magnum's playing this nice and slow. He's got Tamazi with him. And they'll try to open up some space for Shin to sneak his way through. Good shot onto Benji. Fishy. The damage most certainly done to start this, as Team Heretics are now on the back foot. Less angles, more angles to clear, rather, and well, they haven't got the players to cover it. But at least the information now. He's spotted Shin. He won't catch him by surprise, but the double swing after will. That's Magnum's third of the round. And it's all down to Boo. Nice shot. One more needed, but it's Magnum. He's been hitting shot after shot. The time against him. He's the one that has to tap that, and Boo is clearing it out bit by bit, playing with him as the time gets ever lower, stuck to half, and tagged down. Magnum's in the danger zone, and he's got to get that defused now. The time was already gone. But Boo deals the damage to put 1-0 on the board for Heretics.
Yeah, good start in the Red Bull clutch, and both IGLs having to battle up against each other in that final fight. It was a great round for Magnum, even still with the Sheriff, managing to find 3, and ultimately one of the reasons that this round was competitive. I am liking what we're seeing, though, with this composition so far from Heretics. Sure, it's super, super early on, but you could see, like, they had the screen down and then they were consistently pushing it. Like, they had themselves the initial use of the dart to give them information, and then they also had pop flashes. What? All right, then.
He's seen that one before.
Yeah, I guess Magnum really has been working on his Sheriff shots, because so far, crispy clean. He is going to get taken down, though, by Rians. Of course, a lot of rifles on the board right now for the side of Heretics, so any more casualties and this becomes quite a costly round.
Keep an eye on Magnum as this map goes on. Martine shut down, and it's classics for the most part. They shouldn't do too much damage. Narrate and Shin, though, they've made this a little closer than it should be. Wall goes up, and Shin goes down. Narrate alone. Classic in hand. 2 players to take down. Both are heavily armed and lightly armored at this stage. They've been chipped away at, but the Sheriff won't help that much. Both can still sustain a shot to the body. It's got to be the headshots, and Boo's a little quicker on the trigger. 2-0 for Team Heretics. Those losses will be felt, though. I think that damage from KC can't be undersold.
Yeah, no, it's actually going to mean that this is less of a bonus, and
that's filthy. Let's say he was ready for it. He must know that he does that. He must have had that in his head. Nasty.
Yeah. In terms of this investment, as I said, it's less of a bonus, and either going to have a couple of players with basically nothing, or just pistols, and you're going to have some gaps where those rifles used to be. Still an opportunity, though. 3 guns, 1 in Miniboo's hands, 1 in Boo's, and 1 in Benji's. There's definitely players that can do some damage. Martine now looking to try and get a little bit of an aggressive push, and they're all being farmed up by Shin in an attempt to get that res a little bit closer. It's not close.
Oh, I like this aggression. I like the flash, and I like the follow-up.
It's close now.
Shit! Yeah, right next to grabbing his res. It's not a bad start. Look, rifles in hand. Heretics play it as a bonus. Sure, we can throw excuses out there, but that was nasty. And you could see that they were completely caught off guard on the attacking side by that kind of aggression.
Yeah, there was an opportunity to shoot the Dizzy, though. I think that's the only problem, as they get caught out by that piece of utility. Boo trying to find something with the spam. A little bit optimistic. Rian's now trying to do the rest, and Narrate, after his initial strong flash will be there to get some kills as well. KC, a pretty clean start to the defensive side as they only lose a single player. And I think it was literally just a bullet missed, and then Shin just gets everything on the blind players.
Well, round 4 will have a lot of value to it. Rifles brought in across the board. Limited damage in the previous round means KC are feeling pretty healthy when it comes to credits. But for Team Heretics, they're not in that same boat, investing everything into this one. They come in with an ultimate to play with. It's Rienz, and it's Mini Buddha open. Tamazi out of the round right away. Viper Util no longer to play with. A retakes are harder. But most importantly, B itself is wide open. Was.
Once you get into those post blunts, it can be problematic. So Magnum's going to try and be a little bit more aggressive, try and hold them back at least a little bit. As said, with his composition, you're going to try and take a little bit more control for the attack. Going for the standard plant is risky, especially just look at Shin. He's basically just waiting around the back line. Try and attempt to go for some spam. Here comes the Util on the other side from Heretics, forcing them back as much as possible. Pop flash through and a little bit of damage from his own utility, but they think they've taken enough space. It doesn't look like it thus far, as Magnum already going to pounce.
An attempted return by Rienz, but it's found Rien. Nothing to be located for this squad as Team Heretics bunker down with the man disadvantage. The time ticking away, but it's not that far gone that there's panic in the side of KC. They've got their utility with Crash back online and immediately shut down. Spray through from Martin is good, leaving Boo on his own. As Magnum has picked up another big round. I'm really impressed with his individual performance. Not only taking on the leadership role, which has got to have its weight to it, and sure, having Narrate there to back him up is going to help. But individually, I think this is the best form we've ever seen Magnum play on, and that's impressive.
It's definitely looking good. And this is the thing, it's never going to be easy to sort of take that much space and plant at the same time.
He's feeling it.
I even cracked a smile for Eng. 2-2. Now the purchase, not a great one. A single Guardian. You've got yourself some pistols on the rest with the Sheriffs, and again, looking like an aggressive stance. They're caught by the dance. They're going to have to try and fall back off this one. It's again another 4-player stack up in the early round onto this A site. The expectation that they're eventually going to fall in this direction, and they do! Martin is able to correct, though. It looked like he was dead to rights.
If they kept that swing up top, maybe he would have been. I think the fact that KC have players deeper on A was incredibly valuable. The timing on the top peak to draw their crosshairs as well, sublime. And timing is going to be a key part of this round because Boo is trying to catch them off guard. That wall down, and unfortunately for Boo, he is caught looking the wrong way. So Team Heretics have a wide open sight because it's retake play. Well, for KC, they can deny them with some utility. That plant, not easy to find. Although Miniboo will try to take this one a little bit deeper. Recoverable weapon as well. That's the Guardian back up. Reveal has not caught Tamazi, and he's content to just give it up. The retake attempt will be taken by KC. I think it's a wise choice.
I think that could be interesting. Well, now 2. A shot connected, a showstopper available for Miniboo. Already looking to try and deny any further pushing, but it's going to be an easy clean in the end for the side of KC. And I like the fact that they're consistently having these sort of proactive positions. It makes things fairly awkward for the side of Heretics. I also think these early stack-ups in A is because they know that, realistically, getting the plants on B is not going to be easy. You don't have anything to just basically plant something down and fall back. You have to push. So they're just stacking up A because it is the more logical side to go for. It's where you normally see teams just consistently put the pressure on. And especially when you consider Heretics' actual comp. You've got a nade for one corner. You've got yourself the fragment for another corner. You've got yourself snake bites. You've got yourself nano swarms. You've got yourself shock darts. They've got so much. They could just spam the hell out of the A site with the amount of utility. So KC are going, well, that has to come eventually. It feels like the reason they have this comp.
Well, 2 players suppressed, but 1 not spotted up top. Martin. Ultraman's taken away his abilities, but he's still got his rifle to play with. Can't quite get past that wall, and eventually he will. Unfortunately, Miniboo fired a rocket just before he went down, and that's taken Martin clean out of the round. Lockdown in play, but where are they gonna go? They're just going straight up to heaven to deny this from afar. Lineups in play for Benji Fishy as the nanos come through, and that tap on the spike about to have problems caused. Nice shot for Patatek. Utility now should secure the round on time alone, and Tamazi has next to nothing to do about it. He needs kills, and he needs them now. The next couple of seconds, he'll be hightailing it out of here. An attempt with the wall up, I like it, but they've got to reveal. It's just the bombardment of utility that's making it difficult and indeed impossible. A round win for Heretics.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't. It would be not the most exciting thing in the world to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just continue to go towards this A side. Like, even if there's a stack up on this site, which there was, just the sheer amount of utility that they have to force players out of angles, create awkward scenarios.
Good job.
It seems like a comp that will just thrive in that direction, whereas on the B side, okay, you need a little bit more. The thing is, though, Mitch, in this round, they do have a little bit more with the Viper's Pit.
Yeah, that could be helping out a ton. Now, taking the space is something else, but so far it's been easy enough when they pop this utility through. Tamazi, as we can see on the mini-map there, is much more passive than he was before. He was trying to get up close to the boxes and fight kind of where Miniboo is now. But instead, he's now playing back further, having been punished a couple times by the blast pack up from Miniboo and by the utility that followed. Heretics have their wall. That should get them close enough to pop the Viper's Pit. See if KC's spams can be enough to stop it, because really, we're relying on Tamazi getting that damage done. Or else, we're relying on the fight back through the pit.
Still looking at Magnum. He really has been a menace that they've had to deal with. This early read from KC is sublime, but here comes the bombardment of utility. First in, first out. Patatek gone! What has just happened? They've been obliterated by an array. He was just watching the cross. I need to see...
Replay?
Yeah, I need to see his point of view there, because I'm not quite sure how he's just wiped out that many players in a second. One of them was with the Mosh.
Yes.
The rest was all him.
After, yeah. So Spray, he sees the first. He just lines it.
What?
And I guess did enough damage to Boo, combined with either a snake bite or a spam from Tamazi, or maybe even just a wall. Whatever it was, that made it easy for the mosh pit.
He's about as ecstatic as his tweets after all of the matches. Wow. Just 1-2-0. No, he's literally just tweeting the same thing every day.
It's not like Angel. Apparently he lost 2-1 yesterday. It was
yeah.
Enjoyed that one.
And he won a map in his mind. To be fair, one of them was quite long.
It was.
Maybe
yeah,
he felt like he won the first half and that counts.
It was like
as a
we
map.
played 3 maps, definitely.
Okay.
That took too long.
Well, the early fight from Patatek somewhat been undone. It will be the res coming through. Martin on the operator with a Blade Storm. It doesn't even matter that much. Shin's also been holding that res for about 3 or 4 rounds.
Martin's already died once, and look at how aggressive he's being. I mean, he has a Blade Storm to work with, so why not? Updraft attempt, and that's not gone well. Out of there, and the Spray is chasing him, but Shin somehow connects. Magnum as well. And KC, I don't know if that was through the wall or just in the open, but either way, it works, because they're just winning every single fight. And indeed, it will be a flawless round. I mean, they lost a player, so technically there was a flaw, but I'll give it to you, Andalucia. Well played.
Yeah, I think Martin might have taken about 300 damage that round and still survived. Because not only does he take the initial death, but he also gets healed up again afterwards because of the amount of damage he took on the reaggress. Even still, though, Shin managed to protect the President. Well, the President's rewarded him with a round. Really clean stuff from KC. 5 of the last 6 on the ball for them. And the one was this aggressive play into the A side. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's rinse and repeat. The problem is there's a lot of resistance here. And even after the last round, the man almost died twice aggressively. He still catches them off guard again. Miniboo's gone.
They found Banshee as well. Oh, a little bit late on the reaction to that. And the swing out of Magnum didn't go according to plan. It's a messy round. And it's left it into a 2 versus 2. A winnable spot for the side of Team Heretics. The Viper's Pit online for Tamazi, but his teammate might be in trouble. The Thrash comes through. It's now in the open. Irretrievable, almost a mosh pit from Narrate. That is brave. Maybe foolish. Rian's quickly deals with him, but the angle for Tamazi, those players are hidden away.
Oh, can you see
and
the
they're going to
barrel?
check it. They're going to check it together. There you go. Oh, no, not together. Patatek got the info. Riens is left to close this out. He's already tagged a little bit, unfortunate. Tamazi now sees the wall is there. He's got to go forward. He's caught with a snake bite, not dealt with though. That could be a mistake that Riens lives to regret. He's running. Got the ult to work with. Riens is just going to shift it up close, already stuck halfway, and the head scene. Riens knows it's not being stuck. He'll play the time and eventually get in there for his third. Heretics finding another round, keeping it close. He looks unbothered.
Yeah, calm and collected as ever. Even still, though, they lose every single player. And because of how clean a lot of these rounds have been for the side of KC, financially not in the best spot. On the other side of things, they do have nearly all of their ultimates online, so a good chance that they'll be able to just spam their way out of this one. The fact is, though, it really has been the success of the A side. Again, I feel like that's what this comp is built for. They're looking to build into it once again. This aggression has to be expected. They've done it almost every single round, and even still, the Martine Miniboo battle goes Martine's way.
His aggression has been so varied at the same time.
Take
Boo is
flight.
miles away. He's leading from afar, huh? The armchair general of the round. But for Team Heretics, they're getting caught off guard. But again, it's Martine in different positions, different forms of aggression. Last round, you've got the close range op fight. Now he dashes up to take a duel up top. There seems to be almost no way to predict him. In fact, he dashed out of there. They're just running along the rope. Got to be ready for it. But for Heretics, at least, there's something to fall back on. They've lost Miniboo, but they've still got 4 ultimates in play. So there could be some way to pull this back.
He was the only one who didn't have his ult, so it's not ideal because he's normally the space taker, but it's better than what was lost instead already. Going to be throwing the knife through, but it doesn't actually connect. And I like the fact they've just walled this off. That's something that's going to waste some time for the side of Heretics, who are yet to really start peaking. They are going to bypass this. It's going to be the Viper's Pit, and Boo already taking a hefty amount of damage. Straight over the top goes Martine. No fear, as there's not really been anything connected. Panitek already gone, and he's just continuing forward. Finally will be dealt with, but he's taken the space for his team. And now all that's left is Benji. He manages a couple within a second, but it isn't going to be enough.
I think just a shame for them. They put such a deep Viper's Pit, but this squad is quickly able to bypass it, using the top of the site just to create those extra angles, and it's a tough one to fight from. I think a defensive Viper's Pit there, as we can see, you know, it would have had more value, but then you're trying to win the round in a very different way.
Also, the Sage Wall blocked off that avenue. So I think they had about 3 seconds after they saw peek around the corner. Because the Sage is on the right side, he just, I think, just put that Viper's Pit when he ran around the left.
Okay.
So it was more so, I think it was just a reaction to the utility that was denying him on the other fragment, a shock dart, snake bite, anything. It's going to be difficult to plant, so I don't mind their chances. The problem is, if they're too far behind, we've already seen what Casey can do when they get going on that attack. Just have a look at last map.
Still the pit to play with for Tamazi. KC don't need to be worried.
Flight.
It's a lot of pistols for Heretics. A much slower approach to the attack as they look to catch someone off guard. Immediately, and like you say, Tamazi making some noise. It's the same setup that Team Heretics have seen. One Viper here, defending it, falling back, playing the retake. Tamazi's going to give them the idea that maybe they can catch him off guard. Maybe they can blitz in and take him by surprise. The reveal, I don't think he's catching Martine either. Good kill, fall back, and now Martine's got it for free. Surely, Tamazi has gone down. So Martine almost wants that little bit more. A second player now making around that corner. There we go, nice and easy. And the patience pays off. Beautiful stuff from Martine, and a clear advantage to the defenders now.
That's an intelligent player right there. He knew that there was more to be had other than just Miniboo, and you can't really blame Heretics for not checking that. They fell for the exact plan that KC were telling them. And we're now, with just a couple of pistols, you can already see just waiting to try and deny them on that plant. It's more Heretics just looking to try and do a little bit of extra damage. An unorthodox plant spot, but it is still going to be cleared by the Mosh. They're going to have to go back for a little bit more. You could see Panitek just trying to cover every single angle under the sun. He almost, there was a world where he somehow gets a couple there. Now it's on to Benji. Clean on the first, but there's no chance for the second. KC continue their resurgence as they are now 7-4 in the lead.
Powerful lead for this French organization.
They had no right.
One more left to play for in the half, and they could be doubling up on what Heretics have brought to the table. After a 13-7 on the previous map, KC ball is certainly rolling, snowballing down the hill. And Heretics will look to dodge that avalanche as this final attacking round sees not 1, 2, 3, but 4 ultimates for the side of Carmine Corp. They have a Res, a Viper's Pit, a Blade Storm, and a Lockdown. I mean, your choice of how you want to use these. A powerful retake, powerful stopping ability. Heretics will have to play a perfect round with just a showstopper in their back pocket.
They're basically playing the retake already. Like, you can see the stack up this time is actually over on B. They've put the Sage Wall down early. They're putting pressure onto mid. And I feel like a lot of this might just be Tomazi trying to hold onto the backside. The showstopper, well, they're actually going hunting through it. It's almost been wasted. He's going to go back in. He's made it into the pit. With the lockdown, it's going to force them back completely. He gets to hold the site, doesn't get hit by the showstopper, and some of the players have even been detained.
Yeah, well, deterred from any further aggression, though, having seen that some of the other players haven't been detained. Just block it, duh.
Okay.
Rienz blocks the mosh pit, and then takes down Martin with a straight spray through the pit. Okay, one big player dealt with. Blade Storm out of the round, Lockdown used, and a Viper's Pit already placed on the map. What's Heretics' plan?
No.
But look, they're waiting for it on the side of Heretics. They
Flash
wanted this.
nice.
Flash was good. That saved the day, and Narrate's got another kill on the back of it, decimating this squad. 4 versus 3. Pit still up, and they play forward. Tomazi falls. That's the pit down, but only Boo left to deal with, and Martin's got him locked in. 8-4. Double the score of their opponents on the other side. Carmine Corp are set to take this. A pistol could send them right back into that snowball that we've been experiencing. They look hot right now. Heretics need a way back in.
Yeah, I like the fact that every time I'm watching KC doing something scary or ludicrous, there's another layer to it. Like that res, by all accounts, risky as hell. The dizzy over the top, and then the aggression. So while that res is happening, Narrate is taking the fight. He's making it so that, okay, my teammate's getting up. If I can get a kill off that distraction, it's huge. 8-4 in the lead, and bear in mind, next up is Split. Sure, the last time around, Heretics won 13-4. We said the same about Lotus, and KC have since beat Fnatic.
That was a pretty fire transition we just got. The banana buff into the kitchen banana. Now, it's been looking pretty good for the side of KC, but the pistol doesn't get off to the best of starts. Rienz with some early aggression. His best cosplay of Martin, and it's won an award. A one-man advantage is their prize.
Reminds me of some of the aggression we saw on the other side. Not quite the 3 kills of Shin, but still, a man advantage nonetheless. A little bit of a sneaky push coming up from Tomazi, hoping that he can maybe find an angle, find a gap, and he has done quite a bit of damage onto Boo. No heals available on their side, and I'm sure Shin's going to try and find something a little bit more before that wall goes down, but in fact, Tomazi has managed to win that fight. The spike's even coming through on the other side, just trying to bait them out. In the meantime, the players are walking up onto A. They have fake planted the spike, and then they are running all the way back to the A side. That is absolute filth. It's only just being realized by Heretics that this has all been a bait. But look at the control that KC have already taken.
This is textbook play. Absolutely beautiful from KC. Fake works. The players are on site.
Oh, and they faked it again.
Come through.
That wall is a ruse. Look, Rienz runs through, goes, there's a wall there. There's no way there's a guy on the other side. The nade trying to deny. The push in doesn't get anything. Shin fighting strong, but Benji again left into a 1v2 solo on HP. Needs an immediate response.
Calling my bot.
Yeah, with 15 health,
Bot coming back.
quick headshots needed. That's the only way out of this one. He has got 1v1s on offer, but he's looking the wrong way on the way through. That might be the first time I've seen Narrate whiff that bad, but he gets there in the end. So all is well. 9 on the board for KC, and a real blow for the Heretics fans.
I love it. Again, this is someone who is a brand new in-game leader with a brand new team of youngsters. The adaptations they make in this round, not only the initial rotation with the fake plant, but also
Magnum.
just the fact that they have that Sage Wall in the late stages of the round that they use to bait a kill. so that Martin, maybe that's why he's telling him to calm down, because it was risky, but it was clever.
It was, absolutely. Just lulling them into a false sense of security on a read that you've got to make pretty damn quick. 9 rounds on the board for KC. Attack side looking good. Some investment from Heretics. A couple of Sheriffs. Some utility, for sure. Still double snake bites on Boo. Nade on Mini Boo. A flash for Patatek. See how much value can be taken from that. As KC are clearly setting their sights on B. But Heretics have made the read. It's not like this is a completely abandoned site. It's not left wide open like we've seen in the past. Instead, they look to fight. It's just that they don't quite have the brawn that KC do. I'll have to catch them off guard.
They've still got Wingman, a Sage Wall. Plenty they can try and use to get them into the afterplant and force some awkward positions. A pop flash here could be devastating. They like investing into these extra pieces of utility for these sort of rounds. The orb actually ends up helping them out quite a bit. That will allow them to retreat back, and this is where the better weaponry just takes over. Benji still crisp, as he got 4 more.
No, is I'm pretty sure the answer to that one. They're stacked up, 3 players on that angle on his left. Well, if he could find even one, that would be somewhat of a miracle. Now as he swings, there's gonna be 4. Make it a little bit harder, and he does find the one at least. Some damage, but it's negligible in the grand scheme of things. The bigger picture, 10-4 for KC, a 6-round lead, 3 to close it. They're on that attack side, with Narrate having, again, a lights-out performance. I mentioned before in the last map, there was a stage towards the end where he was 25 kills, 10 deaths, and 10 assists. He's now 16-5,
He's playing
6
unreal.
assists. His impact is off the goddamn charts.
That's the
and
thing.
It's in every round.
If they win this, he's tournament MVP. I don't even think it's questionable.
On the roles he's playing as well, it's remarkable.
Obviously, the value can't be understated as well. The 3 points, the equivalent of 3 wins in the regular season that's coming up.
Here.
The same as you'd get for winning over in Masters. Such a huge step in what will be the road to champions, which of course for these teams after making their first Masters, it might feel like a long way away, but it will be a huge boost for them. Nice flash. It's going to catch Narrate picking up his own. Rian's also, his spot might not be something they necessarily check for, at least at this stage. They're looking to try and clear Mini Boo, but he's still sat back waiting for them to try and retreat. Oh,
that's a
no.
blunder. Oh, no. It's not what you like to see. A bit of a whiff, his position given away. The trigger discipline not quite matching up to what we saw earlier on from Martin. As KC now redirect themselves, it's the B site that's under threat.
Yeah,
Boo.
it's mainly because of Magnum.
And he's got some good, he's got a good position. Now they've relinked with him, and look at this, just as they go to move, those players start to relocate. They're worried about the A site. They think the hit's coming through there, and now they realize it's a big old retake they've got to go for.
Timmy the turret is going to be used to bolster the plant. 4 players looking to try and rotate back. But there's so much still to do. They do have themselves snake bites, the knife, a fragment, even a blast pack for some space to be taken. Magnum, they're already getting rid of Boo. That's not the start they were looking for. Martin is also sat alongside Timmy the turret. A pretty nasty angle to be playing behind something they might not even consider checking. And while they finally cleared him, but it's too little too late. The round again has fallen in KC's favor. Once more, they run away with the map. 6 rounds in a row now. It doesn't look like there's a response.
I did like this, the flash through. It seemed like Mini Boo was kind of ready for that. Mini Boo, Narrate, more so, was actually ready for that. He turned from it, but couldn't react in time. About 11-4, yeah, look.
Like, you can't really blame them for it, but no, KC have come out swinging. I think Eng his stonks have gone even higher than they already were. And Magnum is making a name for himself once again. For the side of Heretics, it's a round with Sheriffs. Looking like they may have to try and fight back 8 in a row, but at least giving themselves the best possible setup to do it. On the other side of things is Patient. They are expecting some aggression. A spawn spot from Tomasi. He's gone from being the first man in his old Portuguese team the man waiting in spawn. It's definitely been a change of roles, but one that I think he's thriving in. And I think that's actually one of the most impressive things for me. To bring a player that young, switch their role to basically the polar opposite of what he was doing before. He's mostly been playing Viper. And to see him, well, as I said, yesterday went 26 and 13 versus Fnatic.
They're all right.
They're kind of good.
Flash retrieved for Narrate. I think that's going to cause a bit of a slowdown to the round while they wait for it to come back online. We'll see Dizzy go through and a push to back site, but that's Team Heretics' trigger.
30 seconds
As they
left.
hear those pieces of utility come through, they know that the plan's being committed to, that the fight is being taken, and then the pistols can maybe blindside a few. Triple swing on backside. Shin, he might have looked out of position, but that's because you didn't see Martine right behind him. You only see the
Mike's
flash
dropped.
of his barrel as he takes kill after kill, 12 seconds, and the cover
10
is there.
seconds left.
The space is taken, the territory well and truly in the hands of Carmine Corp. The Team Heretics of Benji and Rienz attempting to bring...
What?
Well, I don't know about that shot, but it worked. It took him down, fair enough. It was echolocating him once he started knifing the wall. 12-4. Tom, you know, at the halftime, it looked like KC were going to take this. Now, it looks impossible for Heretics to get back through. They're already thinking about split.
Oh yeah, they've definitely got to be. As said, last time they played split versus their opponents, they won 13-4. But they were probably feeling the same thing when they went into Lotus and got bullied for the entirety of the first half. And as said, since then, KC have beat Fnatic on split. So every time they seem to be growing, getting better, improving. That has been the story of them throughout this tournament. Now Heretics need to show a little bit of Spanish flair. 8 rounds in a row is what they need. That's not the start they were looking for. Boo going walkabouts. Nice shot from Miniboo, though. At least going to turn things back into their favor. Leave things even for now. Benji also may just be playing for the retake here. He has the lockdown. Him going down would be rough. Not the spot you want to be in. And in fact, it's actually going to be a very early Hunter's Fury. Normally a great ult to have in a retake, but clearly hoping they could do some damage.
Especially a retake of A with such narrow laneways. I think that's a desperate attempt to try and pull an advantage out of thin air. And
a
maybe
lockdown that would have forced them back.
Exactly, right? Like, this could have been massive, but instead, look, they still have the lockdown to work with, but you're not punishing on the way out quite the same. Nice shot from Martine, but he only gets the one. And with the lockdown in play, there's some trouble brewing. You're crazy. Throwing in the Thrash here. It's actually caught one, but Magnum won't get round the corner in time, and Nare won't make it out. The pressure's now on. Shin's got a 1v3 for the next couple seconds while they tap that defuse. Here comes the swing. Good shot from Shin! He's got them both! A chance to keep this alive. It's halfway, and the head was spotted. Narrate knows the timing is his. He's dropped down, covered it with a shot, and the angle's now tough for Miniboo. 20 HP, but he'll hit the shot to keep Heretics alive. It's not over yet on Icebox.
Oh, shit, nearly made that possible. Here's another one. You look back to last year, what he had to go through. And the man that's come out the other side from coal to diamonds, that's for sure. That was so ridiculously close. The fact is, Narrate was a passenger, and he almost managed to do it all. 12-5. We saw the attempted comeback last time out. Mitch called it a little early. I'm guessing you're not going to do that again.
It's doable. This could be Heretics all the way.
That's a shame. 13-5.
It's only 7 in a row. So I'm feeling confident. Let's see. I mean, I'm limit testing. I don't believe how these last few weeks have gone. Every statement I make just falls to shreds.
How many kills does Martine get with the op this round?
None, to be honest.
Okay.
I think Heretics have made the read. He's got an op, and they're going to hide and punish. Probably just headshot him right away.
Okay. So everybody get their clips ready.
Here comes Boo to start. It's going to be the first man. I like the angle he's on. Actually, now I'm believing. Oh, God. Okay, he gets there in the end. Nice and clean. First kill, just as we expected. Shut down right after. Shot from Benji's good. Heretics aren't letting go of this. It's only Tamazi left, and he hasn't got a goddamn chance. Curse isn't real, Tom. KC going one more. Another triple for Miniboo. He had his ult online coming out of last round, so it's not building orbs, but it's building confidence.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for him. Even if it does come down to going into split, he's going to be such a huge part of it, playing that solo duelist on the Raze. A lot of the setup will be based around him. The fact is, though, sometimes that last round can be the most difficult.
Boys, come.
We've seen fight backs from ridiculous spots in this map before, but this would have to be one of the best. Still, Rez and Viper's Pit, something to play with. Util is going to catch out a couple of players already. And this aggressive spot from Miniboo, still clearly feeling the confidence.
Yeah, but it's not just Miniboo. They were waiting for the recon of Rian's, but he's not putting the recon because he's so close himself, already going in with the rocket launcher, and the show is over for Miniboo. He's out of the round. Rian's not able to trade up close, and so he's forced back. The A site now, not as heavily defended by Team Heretics. The advanced positions taken out of their hands. It might get a little bit awkward for this squad. They don't have any control on the side of KC elsewhere. It seems like they're going to fully commit to this A play. So the life on this map pretty much dependent on either Patatek or Rian's getting a few on the way through. Rian's has been consistent, and Patatek's got the first. Good signs for Heretics.
Yeah, and that's 3 players already. They can continue to stack up onto the site. Still plenty of time to play with. But Patatek in a re-aggressed position, still fighting strong, has a teammate alongside him, but the trades are good. A Viper's Pit possible, and the flash also catching onto Boo will let them know that he's here.
Player standing.
Instead, though, Narrate goes fighting, goes facing that snake bite.
30
It's
seconds
going to do
left.
quite a bit of extra damage. Leave Tomazi low, and he's now being rounded on from behind from Benji. His positioning almost perfect, but just looking to try and get into that pit, catch him before he could do anything else. The second snake bite as well, just making things so much worse. 44 HP, the right spam could do everything, and Tomazi knows it. He's going to try and fight forward, looking for that player who's about to round the corner. Not quite ready for it. Might still win the duel, though. Somehow has turned this back into a 1v1, but Benji's there. He'll keep the hopes and dreams of Heretics alive. As again, they get to 7.
The only way to approach this is one at a time. 5 more rounds. It's a big task, but they can get there if they keep playing like this. That was nasty from Martin. Didn't catch that the first time around, but
It's the counter flash as well, again from Narrate. Like, he is still probably dead, or at least one of the others is, but he just throws that Dizzy in, completely blind.
all Heretics building their confidence, building their rounds, and on the comeback arc. 5 in a row needed. Viper's Pit to play with. KC, if they lose a player early on, that res from Shin can always come back through now that it's online. There's something to think about, really, if you're Heretics. And 4 players spotted right away. I think they've got an iota that this is an A hit.
Yeah, it seems like the plan over the last few rounds has been to hit towards this A site. This time, though, they're picking up the pace. Looking to almost sprint their way in. That shock dart could do a nasty amount of damage. It's going to tickle away at a few players. As they continue this push forward, Patatek's gone, so is Rian's. Not the start they were looking for. Benji's at least managed to claw back one. We will see the plant in. And now the fallback. This is just going to have to be that full retake now.
At least still some utility to work with, but the pin for Heretics needs to be dealt with. They could get that diffused right under their nose.
He got
Magnum's
2!
all the way around. It's only 1 player to worry about, and he's way up top. Magnum could have 3 kills down below. But instead, they were focused on finding that third. Boo and Benji. Benji very low. Boo not too healthy either. And with the pit down, things are looking like it might just be over. 30 HP, 1 shot needed for KC. That's 13-7. Letting it go that far. They want to end it here.
No, this is a super explosive composition that they have as well. And one of the focus points has to be Martin. In their game versus Fnatic, he was incredible. Pulling them left, right, and center. Well, it's just going to be left for the side of Heretics. They've gone straight into the B site, already getting into an afterplant.
Solid stuff to start this off. Side of Team Heretics. They don't decide to back off, instead staying on the site. Up top, Narrate has not spotted the player below him, so Benji's good to go. Finding another on Tomazi before Magnum steps up, but he's got so much more to do and falls immediately with KC. The rest of the squad not far behind. 1-0 for Team Heretics with a clean pistol. I like the take. It was pacey, but wow, a very messy retake from KC. They often thrive in that chaos, but this time it wasn't to be.
Yeah, one of the fastest rounds that we've seen so far. And I do think a lot of the information and delay that can be thrown in by KC, those pacey rounds could actually be quite valuable. Like when you're running those double controllers, if you can get the smokes down in time, a lot of those fights become quite awkward. And that is the thing. This composition is pretty much made to make things scrappy. Get up close, get in your face. And I don't think Heretics mind that too much.
No, we've seen it a bunch of times as well, even in their previous games. When you get aggressive and you try to take them pound for pound, that's where they find a lot of value. Now, that might not be true this time with so many pistols in play. The paranoia hasn't hit, but the drop down from Narrate is good. Falls immediately, though. 2 players on the site, one up top causing problems, drawing their eye and making sure those players on site have an element of surprise to it. The flash was good. The follow-up, not so much. The damage is already massive with Magnum in a 1 versus 2, but he's going to be blindsided by Boo. Heretics win the round, but at what cost?
Yeah, they take quite a bit of damage on the way in, and I like the gamble that was taken in that round from KC. Just place a lot of players within one side of the map, and if Heretics are going to continue to play this direct, it's probably going to end up hurting them eventually. The fact is, though, a lot of what we expect from this composition from the side of KC is going to be on that attack. Like, you have a lot of opportunities to set up quite cool and interesting takes, 2 explosive duelists. Right now, Boo has a Bucky. That's what I want to be watching. What's he about to do? He has to try and take some space somewhere, because I don't know how he's going to apply a long-range Bucky on attack.
Oh, just hit the right clicks, mate. Don't worry. That extends the range by about 1 meter. He's going to have a tough time for sure, but a Ghost at least. Have to think he's going into the vents. Very common spot to make those kind of plays. And yeah, indeed, the Bucky's going to be used up here. Flash not going to catch him. Bucky, not that good though. That's always going to be your problem. Luckily, they've taken heaven. Patatek and just shift walked up with his wall. He's turned back to fight Shin, but lost his life. The numbers now back to even. It's not like Team Heretics want to blitz straight towards A. You even see that spike rotating back. They'll group up as 3 and look to take it B. The timing is pretty good.
It's mainly going to be if there's any utility. And there is. A C's available. Timed right! It could be perfect. I think it's not going to catch anyone. In fact, they're going to fake the steps away and then start moving their way back. A little bit of a wide jump out from Magnum, but instead he's just going to have to surrender the site. Look to play on the retake. Now, bear in mind, Rian's never got to collect any of those guns. I think the only one in reach was a Bucky.
30 seconds
and he decided not to go for that.
Nice fight. Well done by Shin with Mini Boot down. The real danger is the rifle and Benji. Rianz has done the same, but he's a quantifiable factor. They knew that he was at the back site. They still know it, and there's no way out for Rianz. He's got to fight his way through. The peek around the back. Oh, he's got the reload off on time, but the shots don't quite land. Not for him. It's Shin to do it. 3 kills and a round for KC.
Yeah, the fact is, KC recovered this really well. That was a start that was basically a 2-for-1 trade. You lose a Bucky and you get 2 kills off the back of Patatek. It's mainly just this re-aggression and Shin being more than prepared and just having a great round overall. KC break back fast. And on this defensive side, looking strong. Now, for the other side of things, I want to note that it was a 9-3 defensive half when they last played this map. Now, as we've already mentioned throughout the series, I feel like KC, even from the last time they played Heretics, have come forward leaps and bounds. It's a different team, different roster to who played previously. But it is worth noting that KC are going to want to at least put up a decent defensive side because of what happened last time out.
KC's attempt at defensive aggression is going to be similar to what we saw in the previous map, relying on Martin. And now that he's got a gate crash to get out, he's much more confident to take those wide open positions. Quick kill on Rianz, and he's bailed, leaving the rest of KC to pick up the pieces, and those pieces not too easily recovered. The decoy attempt alongside Boombot is nice. We can see that the Heretics have no control. They've got to go through the smokes, take some risky plays.
They still don't know the judges here. That's the main problem. They've been faking again. They love doing this, just giving away like, oh yeah, I'm here, come for me, go for the guy with the rifle. And instead, Narrator's just sat there, hasn't moved a muscle the entirety of this round. Into B they go, this battle of Tomazi, but he's just looking to try and delay them even further. 40 seconds left on this clock. Again, they're going back towards this position, a slow sneak in. They're going to end up walking straight into him. He's waiting on the other side. And the bait worked the entire time. Sure, it might have taken a lot longer than they would have hoped it would. And now Boo, he's got to sprint, he's got to run, he's got to get this spike and try and move on to the site. His teammate looking to try and wrap back around, but the timing is just not good enough. They need so much more. And KC, with their trap plays, have left Paditek out of the round.
Great ideas on how to retake that control. Initially taking the fight right down on middle, falling back, having their setups. As you said, baiting them into that false sense of security. They move in towards Vent. They've seen nothing there the whole round. That's because there's a judge waiting. And in actual fact, Heretics almost had a way into the B site because we saw Tamazi shrouded step to the site and he just dodged the bullets as he stepped away. He ended up on 24 HP from a spam through the box. And if he was a little later, a fraction of a second, he would have been in trouble. Favorite avatar is Aang. Well, he's mastered all the elements of a top tier team before and looks like he's doing it again. One map away from locking in top spot in EMEA. And we're now neck and neck.
Toxins going up.
It definitely feels like he has the experience of someone over 100 years old, but he's not quite looking like it. Already back to what looks like a slightly more direct attempt. Maybe just farming up the orbs, in fact. Miniboo 1 away. Rian's 2, so...
Got the spike.
Same for Panitek, in fact. If they can go get the other orb on the other side, might be a little bit more difficult.
Right there.
Instead, though, they're going back to this mid position. Martin, well placed once again, but in this sort of round, definitely not worth the risk.
That's what you think, Tom. Well, let me tell you, there's a different school of thinking out there. Martin's pioneering it, and he's just about making it out with his life. They've got some lessons to learn, I suppose, after that one. The Team Heretics, 4 versus 4. They'll be happy with that outcome.
Ah, the slow-tempered style. When you've got this much utility. Narrate again, like he's still got the judge, is in a different position, and it looks like they're going to be walking right into where he is. He's got a teammate as well in Shin, watching the heavens above. Whichever way Heretics go, they're walking into what seems like a nasty trap, starting to use some utility in an attempt to clear some of the angles that could be a risk, but they don't know about this man down below. Shin up above, holding on. That's the spike. The spike has been dropped. There doesn't seem to be much hope here, and Shin just holding the line once again. Counter flash is being thrown out onto Paditek. He's at least managed to find one.
10 seconds left.
But there's nothing he can do. It's just going to have to be another save.
Yeah, maybe if the spike was down below, he could try to roll the dice. What was that shot? Lightning fast, but so too is the timer of the round. It's ticked all the way. And victory found from the side of KC. The advantage, 3-2, as they take the lead. But over on Heretics, they're going to be a little disgruntled after that one. They got it very close. But they can also fall back mentally to the fact that this was a round where they did not have a lot. It was mostly pistols. They 1-to-1 traded to start. They found a lot of weaknesses on that A push. They're going to learn from that coming into round number 6.
Yeah, this is a round where a lot of the ultimates are starting to build up as well. Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, Nightfall. Even a Viper's Pit, if Panitek can get into an afterline. He's been having a lot of impact so far, 8-1 on the scoreboard, but a lot of the rounds has been too little too late. Shin going for some of these early peaks, but at least for now isn't going to find anything. And they're executing straight off this. They're just looking to try and take out one of these controllers. In fact, they catch Shin.
They've just popped every ult they had to try and get this one, and it looks like it's worked. So many kills going their way. A double nade kill. Not even off the first blast either. It was the paint shells falling out after Paditek has managed to slice a little bit of control for himself towards the spawn. And as we're seeing on our screens, KC are in a bit of trouble because they've lost their screens. I don't know where Martin's planning to take this one, but it's got to be right into Paditek's face if he wants spawn control, and he's done that pretty flawlessly. The first, but many more to come if he's to have a chance, and you can see he's not even going to try it. No,
it's because Shin and Narrate are low on cash. That's why we've seen the judge a couple of times. Is even though Paditek, as said, like in terms of him actually finding value during the round, he's been really doing the damage to their economy out of it. And this change of pace, the Rolling Thunder, pretty much used just to isolate Shin. Showstopper thrown in alongside it. It's a lot of spam put into the round.
Nightfall as well. Same time as the Rolling Thunder. They committed both.
But it did pay its dividends. That's the thing. Heretics have managed to break their way back. get themselves 3-3 onto that board. And as mentioned, they had a fantastic defensive display last time out.
I do like the... I think on one hand, I very much like the fact that they burst their ults into heaven. They have the nades and so on to follow up on it. But I think they're so very lucky that so many players from KC were in that spot. Normally, you maybe get one guy, and you're going to wreck his day. A second, sure, but I think there were 3 players heaven. So it just completely... They pulled out the rock to KC's paper. And I think, you know, those things are going to happen. They've set themselves up for success. And early on in the map, it's exactly when you want that to occur.
Oh,
Get out of there. Blast pack out. Easy stun, though, is good. And they're chasing him down. No chance for Nare.
No, and Shin's been tagged up as well. This is an instant response. A pace change from Heretics as they'll make their way into the site. The judge this time isn't going to have any impact.
Here.
Shin, Tamazi not in a bad position to try and do at least a little bit of extra damage, but they need to isolate Benji, who's now sat in the backlines, chilling behind them, dodges the flash, is able to escape back through the smoke. I don't even think he took any damage from that spray. That's going to be someone they have to clear. The final ult that was on the board is going to be that Viper's Pit, but Miniboo's gone down. Martine somehow, while pushing into that utility, has got rid of Patatek. Somehow this has come back to being competitive.
Shouldn't have even been close. Yeah, KC have left Boo in the wind and found themselves a 4th round. I don't know what Martine saw that gave away those positions, that gave him the confidence to step into the pit and take the duels, but hell, I'm glad he saw it. Absolutely beautiful play from this defensive squad. Tom, I always feel like at least once I see that Viper's Pit go down, the round is very much swung in your favor. We'll see this replay. The first I understand. Get out. Get out of here. Get out. How? You gotta think he's low and whatever. Oh, he saw a barrel. Yeah, but the other player saw a massive red highlight on a low HP player that he knew was in that position and couldn't even get a shot off with how quick he was fired on. That's outrageous.
I've heard of 2020 vision. I think this man might be a few years ahead. That's absurd.
He's in 2024 with the vision. Gorgeous stuff.
Oh, looking like Heretics aren't afraid to go for the same sort of play. This is where they've had the majority of their success, is making a move in towards heaven. Narrate forced off the angle by the same nade, and now the pressure comes in. Shin left completely blind, but he hasn't been checked on. He hasn't been cleared, and because of that, he gets away with so much. The round's over in a matter of seconds, and Andaluthia flawless. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and once he finds those 2 as well, or even the first, you see players start to turn to address him, and then the rest of the squad comes out of the woodwork to take him. I'm loving this from KC because we'll see players in that position who don't get the support that they need. But this guy's always got someone else to swing. Benji was just about to take Shin down, deal with that problem. Oh, it's amazing to see Magnum activated like that. An Andaluthia flawless round. And KC are
a couple of days later, it would truly be an absurd way to win this grand final. And all that stands in their way is the team that beat them out. Heretics behind.
They found that win before, but struggling to search for it again. Shin opening it up. Martine already doing damage, left Miniboo in the corner, desperately trying to cling to life. He can't quite manage it. Damage across the board in favor of this defensive side. Carmine Corp looking absolutely untouchable in the last couple of rounds. And for Team Heretics, this is a full pump of the brakes. KC can sit down, run the clock. They've got control over the attacker spawn, for God's sake. With the spike down, at least Boo can pop the ultimate, but, well, he'd have to be alive to do that, and he might not be for too much longer because they found out where he is. And it's not just one player. It's not just Magnum alone. He's heard running away, but Tamazi's there to back him up.
There's nowhere to go.
There is no open space.
There's literally nowhere. They're watching 2 different angles from the spawn. One player's pushed up sewers, the other is on B. Like, there is literally nowhere to go. And sure, they're even spreading out because they know he can risk it and retrieve the spike. But at this stage, even though it may not be the most impactful ever, there's no value in it. There's absolutely nowhere the Boo can go. So it is just going to have to be that safe. Hold on to the rifle, bring something into the next round, but it is another massive success for the side of KC. They are weathering any storm that comes up against them, adapting, being dynamic. The crossfires have been devastating. The utility's been superb. And Narrate, he is on 14 HP, but he wants to try and take this gun away. Clearing one of the close angles, gonna try and swing in! And somehow, even while low, he's just ripped it out of the hands of Boo.
What a round for KC. Utter dominance. Martin going down in the trade was the only downside, and somehow Narrate's just picking up kill after kill. You don't swing that angle. You don't take fights like that unless you're incredibly confident. And the player knew he was coming. He threw the nade.
Yeah.
He gave it away.
He
At the
might as well
element of
shot off a
surprise.
flare.
Typed in all. I'm gonna peek spawn in a sec, just so you know.
Left side, left side.
Coming from your left. Well, you better be ready, because Martin certainly is. Mini Boo doesn't get a chance to even throw out a piece of utility in this round. He is dropped on the jump peak.
For the smoke. Martin hoping for a little bit of more magic. He's met with a bullet. Will be forced back.
Bit ambitious.
But again, these opening fights just going the way of Carmine Court every single time. And it's Mini Boo. In the first map, well, the first map at least, he was lights out. Unstoppable. Throughout the tournament, but he's been the #1 player in ADR, ACS, opening kills, clutches, you name it. He's there at the top. But in this map, he has been shut down. In the last map, he was shut down. The map before that as well. KC have proven the Mini Boo might not be as devastating to them. Under pressure, though, on the site.
Well, that pressure's alleviated by Narrate. Comes straight in with a showstopper and a good hit onto Rianne's. The utility out of the round. Spike on back B. And two players spread
30
out.
seconds left.
A very tough fight presents itself for Team Heretics. They do well to win the first, but with Patatek down and Benji Fishy in known quantity, there was no way that that was going to work in their favor. Team Heretics down 7-3. KC are running away with this defensive side. Only 2 rounds left to play for. You have to hope that Heretics have got something left in the tank, but I'll tell you what, whether they do mentally or any other aspect, they do not when it comes to credits. It's going to be a tough follow-up round.
Yeah, and the thing is, they won the pistol second round and then 1 round since. It has been 7 of the last 8. This has been dominant for KC. They are flipping the script on everything that Heretics showed last time. The prep, the individual play has been there. Okay, there's a showstopper. That's about all that is on the table in this round. The only thing that could potentially change the way things are going. Nice work from Mini Boo, though. He didn't even need to use it. Magnum is there alongside him, but he will go down as well.
Last player standing.
It's an awkward couple of fights. It's Mini Boo that's making them so awkward. Heretics have done a great job to take that side control. Conserve the ult as well until it was needed. I don't know how Mini Boo got away with it. I guess the blast from the rocket helped him out. This swing from Martin, and whoa, he won't even get to swing. No gate crash to be found, 7-4. And we mentioned the lower economy in the hands of Team Heretics, but they have most certainly made it work anyways.
Yeah, this was the guy that we wanted to see. As said,
That's ridiculous.
I felt like I've awakened the beast a little bit, but he had gone missing. And then just like that, a little bit of extra confidence, moves his way to the top of the board. And a 7-5 half, not a death sentence. I do think that this KC attack side, if implemented correctly, can be devastating to play against.
Cover going out.
But from what looked like a bleak to impossible scenario, this is now somehow looking workable. Even still, though, it's not going to be easy.
Coming out with Narrate around, that flash from Martin! He's gone absolutely ham! It's crazy because we compliment KC. Oh, they sit back, they play together, they're always a second element to it. Except for Martin. Sometimes he can just come swinging out of a smoke and take 2 kills, and he kind of whiffed the first couple shots. That could have been 3. Devastating stuff for Heretics, with Patatek extremely low and Boo on the elbow. He's the real point of contact nade. Oh, that's going to force Patatek to the elbow too. Both of these players on the same angle, and here comes the swing very soon. They've got 2 players inside the smoke. It's their choice of where they want to go, and 3 together. Good spray to start. Magnum down, but not able to follow up. KC quickly put a close to that, and a cap on the half at 8-4. A very strong position for the French organization. 1 map away, and the lead is theirs by double.
put themselves into an amazing spot.
It's crazy.
Martin, narrate, the interplay, the baits, Shin with the setup. And well, Magnum with some trash talk.
He's been feeling
himself.
it. And honestly, seeing his confidence skyrocket, seeing him stand up, such a wonderful display of top-tier Valorant from two teams that were not pinned as being in the top tier when we started this out.
This is so much info. They're going for the combo straight off the bat. That's already going to be Martin out. They were just setting up off the back of that cam to try and do as much damage as they could. Still, though, Casey kind of recovered it. Like, that was almost perfect. 3 players right in the right place at the right time. A stun thrown through. And somehow, it's a 1-for-1 trade. The cam's not gone, though.
They'll see it now. There you go, eventually realizing they've been caught on CCTV. It's time to move, and it's straight up towards Heaven, meeting with Tamazi for the A hit. Rian's already tagged up from the earlier fight, puts pressure on Patatek, who's catching players, not even looking. They were so focused on Rian's, who's done a little bit more damage, bought time for the rotate. Look where Benji Fishy is. This is a nasty position, not one you expect. And he wasn't expecting the jump peek. The trade, decent considering that player was low. Mid hold from Boo. Paranoia is good, but the player's in the... Oh no, it's not good! Magnum didn't get blinded. He sidestepped it. And now we're neck and neck, 2 versus 2. What a recovery.
It looked like it was going to be spot on, but not this time. I'm looking at Shin. His positioning always seems to be paramount in these rounds, and he's able to clear some of the backlines. It leaves him in a position where if he gets this right, he could be catching the players in the back as they look to push into the site. Information should be had. I think he will have heard them already. Oh, that's perfect. Now he definitely knows. They're looking to try and clear the site, and instead, he's just slowly making his way up behind the Magnum, just trying to bait down that clock a little bit more, and already he's found one. Their Magnum actually gets both. He didn't even need the help of Shin. That man in the back, the knife, looking to be slipped, and instead, Magnum, loud and proud.
Mag the knife. He's doing an absolutely incredible job. 9 kills on the board. It's not a stellar lead. It's not anything that we're going to write home about as, oh, he's the top fragger of the server. He's lights out. But he's had good games, consistently putting up numbers when he needs to across every map in this series. And that was a big blow to Team Heretics. Remember, half the rounds they got came off the back of winning the pistol and the follow-up. Now they're 9-4 down with no money. Pistols, a couple, 2 sheriffs, a ghost, and 2 classics to work with. KC should swarm this buy and absolutely dominate every duel that they take.
Spike planted.
There's gonna have to be a lot of things going right for Heretics. I don't imagine this round is theirs. 10-4 down. They need a near flawless comeback into things. It would help if they could manage to upset the KC squad here and now. We've seen it before with weaker pistols.
I'd be impressed. I think this might just be a 10th. Time ticking away. Narrate already good for 1. The cleanup. Wow, ever so clean. Leaving just 1 man standing, hopeful for a single kill, and it will be nothing. And Andaluthia flawless. The conversion of that round versus pistols, and now with a bonus, it's scary as well because we've seen KC, similarly to what we saw from Heretics, just being able to pull out these explosive rounds off them as a unit. That was a team that believed in everything they were doing wholeheartedly. And while the fact that your opponent's just taking a pause when they're 10-4 up, that's got to be sitting on your mind. What have they got planned? What are the ideas that have been set forth? Early space taken. A fast-paced move, but the spike going up through middle could be a problem. Panatek, prime position, but he's only going to get the one. The one drop, though, is the spike. But the rest of the team are coming back round with it. Looking to head through A, back up to B. Boo, well-placed to maybe put a spanner in the works. But again, it's an instant trade.
Both of those kills, Boo and Patatek, dropped by Shin. Another player who's been so impressive, and I think I could go through the KC roster and just name them all at this point. Blowing our minds game after game. And for Shin, those 2 kills valuable because they've sent the rest of the squad. Right into the waiting hands of Narek, into the waiting hands of Tamazi, neither of which win their fight, so it's all onto him. An ace needed by Shin, his third already secured. Low HP on Benji Fishy. It's doable for this young gun. He's swinging, and a beautiful headshot. Just 10 HP between him and an 11th round for KC. Another nail in Heretics' coffin. I'd love to see the game anytime now. Just in case you didn't catch it, he did get that. He aced it. He found the kill on the 10 HP. And as we can see, Miniboo's not happy. That makes two of us.
People are going to remember this ace for all the wrong reasons.
One of the most memorable aces of all time. What a shot, man. Not bad on the last one either.
All right, guys, reset. Everyone calm down, okay? We have after long.
I'll try to take that advice. 11-4. KC, 2 away from winning. And as, well, we can see or imagine, it's been a tough one for Team Heretics. Now they're again left to weaker weapons, judges in hand, and it's Miniboo with a Guardian to try and make this work. It's a tough one. It's going to be a real battle. And one that they can't really afford to lose.
Not a lot to play with for Heretics. Panatek in position, but he shot the fake out. They know he's here. And knows what gun he's got as well. Looks like they're going to go back and challenge him. Panatek trying to reclaim some of that ground, and he's going to be caught for it. Another judge on the other side for Boo. Maybe it won't be expected, but with the weaker weapons in this round, expectation should be that he's here. Does manage one, a second as well.
Down B.
That's the spike drop, but he doesn't have much support. He's going to try and get a little bit aggressive, maybe knowing that there's a wraparound coming in. Miniboo trying to communicate it, and Martin will find the trade. Even still, though, clearing this man is not going to be easy. Martin actually going aggressive. He's going to find Rians, looking for a little bit more. He spots the man close. That's Benji, as they both go barreling their way towards this A site.
Right read from Benji, immediately just ignores Martin, goes for the rifle, goes for a recovery around middle, and they'll set themselves up to try to fight back through. The information just to clear out if there's any lurks, make it quicker on the rotation back. They're splitting as well, Tom. 2 different angles for these players to work with. I love this from Martin. They think they know where he is, but the sound cue might have been caught by Boo. He's ready on the swing. A 3rd kill for the leader of Heretics, but no 4th. It's Shin again, hot off his ace to try to recover. Benji Fishy didn't find the rifle. He's left with a sheriff in hand as Shin swings through, looking for him yet again. A rematch in the 1v1, and the same result. Coming go! 12-4, 8 chances to close out the grand final of EMEA. A 3-1 scoreline, and a hell of a difference on the last time they faced Heretics.
They're looking to basically do the role reversal. They lost 13-4 the last time they played this map. The team that 2-0'd them faces them in the final. And after losing that first map, they're looking to clean sweep them right out. 3-0. A team, as we've spoken to Eng, spoken to Zacian, it was built, they just wanted to play as many matches. They wanted to learn what they could throughout this tournament. But they might just end up champions while doing just that.
Portal was broken, so no TP. But no Martin at all. In fact, good kill for Miniboo. That's a very valuable scalp to take. I mean, Martin's bailed them out of a lot of tough situations. The 13-4 dream, well, it's not as alive as it was, but there's plenty other players to recover it. Hell, if Shin's alive, it's doable.
Nightfall available. Flash, sublime, but not managing to capitalize off of it. Oh, again, opportunities for Miniboo. He's just not quite landing the shots. Rians will do the work instead. Been having a bit of a rough time, but at least onto the board. Benji holding strong on the other side as Shin's lurk is definitely being watched for. One of the better scenarios we've seen from Heretics, but that's been the major thing, is when they seem to be out is when they finally start waking up. And
30
for Riens,
seconds left.
that does mean
Spike
taking down
down
another.
B.
The spike retrieved, but a 2 versus 4, not a lot of time to play with. They need to go.
Yeah, and they're putting a lot of stock into that catwalk position. There's no one from Heretics there, so the utility doesn't fall on anyone. Doesn't set them up, and they certainly didn't know that Mini Boo was in that off angle. Just sat in the spawn and wait. Good night. Not good night just yet. In fact, they don't know he's there. Oh my. I've never had as much of a misread, but then again, neither did the other team. So it's all good. I was certain he was dead. He's TPing in front of a player, but the box just about blocked him. Wow, that could have been a disaster.
Yeah. But that seems to be the thing. With Heretics, when they're down, they start clutching out these rounds, but they're never easy. They're never clean. They always end up being close. And you can see on the other side, they believe at every single moment that there's a chance to close this one out. 12-5. Both teams still having some vulnerabilities. The flash actually catches Narrate a bit, but he carries on going. Showstopper popped. And he's hoping to try and find something, and he goes peeking back in and gets shot in the head. Luckily, Riens has found one backside.
Martin has gone down.
Did Martin
He did. He took the kill and TP'd. Yep. He'd put his gate crash early in towards back B, and well, bless him. You know, not many players would have the audacity to try to make that play. It hasn't worked out. Cosmic Divide and Nightfall in play. It's caught one. Paranoia response.
Ooh, they know.
Good damage.
They're
Good
gonna
kill.
know.
Easy spams. Riens is low. Hello. Eventually they get him. And now it looks like the dominoes have started to fall. Team Heretics. They took down the kings of EMEA. But now they found that throne, it wasn't theirs. Not automatically. Carmine Corps, just a few kills away. Narrate might just have them in the bag. He's walked up, the smoke fades. And so too does all hope for Heretics. Carmine Corps.